entering information and stuff, I was like, man, I really wish that like this giant blank pad here in the middle that these Joy-Cons attached to was just a thumb, like a touch pad or like a touch screen. Not really a touch screen, but like a pad that like I can just like
Sure.
a mouse pad.
Yeah, understood.
I think it would be a really great way to like enter in, a great way for what do you call that?
Well, it's almost a shame that Nintendo doesn't have it because I feel like they might use it. Whereas like, the few times I've used it on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, it's actually been great. Like it's like a fun little thing. But they don't use it all that often. I remember like Ghost of Tsushima, you just swipe your finger up on it if you are lost and you want to know like which way to go, and like a little wind blows.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, it's a simple, stupid thing,
Yeah.
but like it was engaging. It was like really, really cool. Something that's simple.
Even to go as like simple as, you need to like type in, the interfaces or whatever, where you need to like type in your password or whatever, to use that as
all better
as a touch screen like we do with our phones, where you, like, what is it, where you don't even lift your finger to do it, you just swipe from letter to letter, to be able to like
Sometimes
enter
I do
information to enter information that way while you're doing it, or to go through your menus or your weapons and stuff like that. I just think it would be really really great, and I am only thinking about it because I had that controller adapter or whatever, the Joy-Con adapter. What do you call that?
grip. Western grip.
And I just felt like while I was holding it, I was just like, this is a waste of space here, kind of. Like they could have done something there.
I got to get a picture of that with my Switch too, so you can use that from now on. I should remake that for you. Sorry, go ahead, dude.
I have old man hand problems, as you guys know, with video games these days, and the Joy-Cons on the Switch 2 in the grip were killing me worse, almost as bad as the PlayStation 5 controller does, and that one's the worst for me. So I started using the Switch Pro controller, like the original, just to play Mario Kart, and that was fine. Then eventually I did, for my birthday, get the Switch Pro 2 controller, and that thing is like butter. I love it.
You can't do free-handed Joy-Con?
Not really. I did it for Skyward Sword, just because that's kind of how it's supposed to be played.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't. I really, I probably could if I forced myself, but I've tried that before and I don't like it. It probably wouldn't hurt as bad. I think it has something to do with like how the grip has my hands being held. But to be honest, at this point, now that I have the Pro 2 controller, unless there's a reason to, I can't see going back. I mean, for the Switch Welcome Tour, I'm going to use the Joy-Cons, but I can't see another game to use it for.
What about the wheelchair game?
Yeah, drag and drive. Yeah, you'd have to. If you virtual game card borrow that from me.
I wasn't thinking about even doing that, to be honest, but who knows? Maybe it'll be good.
You're right. Cumulative. That's funny. Drag X drive. I don't know if I'm supposed to say drag X drive or drag end drive, but no, not drag and drive.
Drag drive.
Dragon as in fire breathing. No, not that.
1,000 times drag drive.
Oh, I talked to that team this week. I'll tell you after the show, but we're working on something. Something popped up, and I was like, "Hey, what about this?" And they were like, "Yeah, let's do this." So we're doing something.
Nice.
You're doing a game with them?
No.
We're gonna be voice actors in the sequel.
No.
It's gonna be all about men.
I'll tell you later. Well, it's spoiled. Spiders and flies. Got that one.
Why? That would have been perfect for this. Spiders and the S's and F's.
That's right. What was I watching where somebody was talking about what was it? They were talking about their rumors, but like they were giving their rumors were true. Yours have never been, obviously. But they were saying their spiders got the information for them, and I was like,
what?
Yeah,
I should have copyrighted it.
I can't remember what it was. All right, and then I'm not going to talk about that because we're going to talk about it during the news, and I'm not going to talk about that because we'll talk about it after news.
I
So
was
that's
going to
that.
say too though, like I today was the first day that I unboxed the Switch 2. I
do you
was
mean?
traveling.
Oh yes. Okay.
I was traveling, and I didn't have a case, so I didn't want to set up the Switch 2 and travel with the Switch 2. I wanted to keep the Switch Switch, just the Nintendo Switch, on that trip. And I was playing on the
It's as simple as that.
I was playing a game on the plane, and my hand, like I just, because it's so thin, and the Switch 2 is not much thicker, really, right? And
you don't have grips for it. You were just raw dogging the handheld Switch.
And so, like, I just feel like, especially the shoulder buttons and stuff, I feel like I'm playing with my fingertips.
I got the Nitro deck if you want to use that.
This is a past problem right now. I don't know what the Switch 2 is going to be.
You're telling me you're not going to play solitaire anymore on the old Switch?
On the old Switch?
Yeah.
No, I have it on the Switch 2 now.
That could be your toilet switch, though.
Toilet switch.
No. I mean, I don't.
The way you looked at me, man.
Everything is transferred
No.
over.
You can still play everything on your old Switch. It's true.
What, I can sell it fully.
You could sell it too.
stacked.
That's true.
No, I was thinking about giving it to,
Hey, no.
niece or
You can't
something.
do this. You said to me you could sell it. And I go, yeah, you could sell it. And then you go, I'm thinking about giving it. I was just playing your game. You said
No, I was either going to trade it in or maybe give it to my niece or something like that, because they already have a Switch. But they don't really get a lot of screen time, so maybe having two switches is not worth it for them. But
I'm gonna sell it. I'm gonna trade it in. I'm gonna give it to my niece. I'm not gonna give it to my niece.
I understand.
I don't know. I wasn't really saying I was going to sell it. I was just saying that, like, I didn't realize that everything stays. I thought it gets wiped. But
I
that was
still
the
think
point.
my toilet switch is a good idea.
I mean, I'd still take my Switch to the toilet.
Switch 2 to the toilet?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, it's your Switch 2. You can do whatever you want.
Do whatever you
I
want.
mean, I actually never brought my Switch into the toilet.
Well, not
It's not a
into the toilet.
3DS, or a Wii U.
All right, that's it. Well, let's get the news. Do hit me with that news jingle, please.
I sure will.
Finally. People have been like, is Nintendo going to do a Nintendo Direct? Because they usually do one in June. All signs as of right now point to no. We're not out of June yet, but so far, no. And Nintendo has done their telltale thing of when they're not going to do a Direct, because they start sharding things out on social media instead, and now also through the Nintendo Today app. Announcements where you're like, that would be worthy of a Nintendo Direct, or that would be a part of a Nintendo Direct, but they do it on social media, and that's exactly what they're doing right now. Last week, they were like, here's new content for Splatoon 3. Oh, and also Splatoon Raiders, a brand new Switch 2 Splatoon game. And then this week, they were like, well, here's a Nintendo Direct, but it's only about Donkey Kong Bonanza. So they did a 15-minute specific Donkey Kong Bonanza Direct, and I will tell you about it. Woo, boy, does that game look good. Holy crap, does that look good. There is a story I almost posted on GoNintendo, but I didn't want to cause craziness about it, and I just didn't want to stir the pot. And I'm like, it's not really necessary, but I found it very interesting. And I saw I saw posts on social media talking about it, but whatever. Here's the story. Xbox had their showcase, whatever it was. They're like basically not E3 showcase. And Sony had their state of play for June, which was their bigger state of play presentation for showing you what's coming up for PlayStation 5 and PSVR. And I know I pooped all over Sony earlier, but I said, Deux will hopefully back me up on this. I said I thought Sony's state of play, the most recent one, was the best one they've ever done. I thought it was full of things that I was actually interested in. Now,
you did say that.
The
this
average
separate from
PlayStation
their
fan
fireside chat?
That was like an investor thing.
Oh.
Their state of play I thought was very good. I really enjoyed what was shown. I was interested in a lot of it, but the internet disagreed somewhat, but it's the internet. But whatever, I really liked it. So I'm not a Sony hater by any means at all. I will buy every Sony system. I just am disappointed with them right now. But anyway, they had those two things, Sony State of Play and Xbox Showcase, whatever it was. So that's their like big not E3 things. The Donkey Kong Bonanza 15-minute Nintendo Direct was watched by more people than those events, which is mind-blowing to me.
Whoa!
Over 3 million people so far have decided to watch just the Donkey Kong Bonanza presentation, and that's only on Nintendo's official
And
channel.
of that 3 people, only 125,000 have decided to purchase the
3
game.
million people. Well, that's I
3
mean,
million.
I could tell you,
I'm
know,
just
I'm not.
kidding.
Yeah, I'm not going to play into it. I'm not going to play into
I'm
it. But
kidding,
anyway,
what do I? What? Who cares?
what do you mean? Who cares? You're allowed to say something. I can't say something back. Anyway, I thought it was very interesting that many people watched it, and the reaction to it was staggeringly positive. So we knew about this game already. We had seen bits and pieces of gameplay. I was hyped because I'm like, a new 3D platformer. That's great. A Donkey Kong 3D game, which we haven't had since the 64 days. I'm all about this. So this direct really blew the lid off of Donkey Kong Bonanza. God, this game looks so good. This game looks insanely good. I know it looks amazing. When my sister got in touch, who I didn't even know she knew this existed, and she was like, can I get a Switch too? And when does Donkey Kong Bonanza come out? And I was like, I
Nice.
figured you're going to be asking me about this. So
You didn't try to get her to get one launch day?
no, I know they'll get one eventually. Just I was not. Yeah, I'm not pushing it on anybody. I figured they both play games. Her and her husband play games, and they're both definitely going to get a Switch too. Just I don't know if there's anything out right now where they'd be like, yeah, I want to get it, because they're not big Mario Kart players, and outside of that, I don't know what they'd be playing. But I knew my sister would definitely be into Donkey Kong Bonanza. So as soon as that crossed her path, she was like, I need the system now. She was like, and I told her like where you can get it and restocks are going well. And she's like, I think I might go to Costco to try and get one. I was like, well, good luck. So anyway, Donkey Kong Bonanza, we got to look at it in great detail. 15 minutes of new footage and details and gameplay. And oh man. So I forget what website it was. It was an official Nintendo website for Donkey Kong Bonanza, but they accidentally, a few weeks back, put out a piece of artwork for the game that spoiled what would have been a major reveal in this Nintendo Direct. That artwork spoiled that Pauline is a sidekick for Donkey Kong in this game. We did not know that at the time. Nintendo painstakingly made sure people did not know that. They even had hands-on events where you were not allowed to see Pauline. She was not a part of the demo, but one of Nintendo's websites in Europe accidentally put up the Donkey Kong Bonanza artwork with Pauline in it, and that was a big mistake, and it got taken down. But now we got the reveal of Pauline. And this is
Smalline.
She is young Pauline. It's true. She's 11 years old, according to Nintendo's
13,
documents.
I thought.
Oh, is it 13?
That's what the Japanese translation said.
Oh, okay. Well, then 13. So Donkey Kong and Pauline are working together. Pauline used to be living on the surface. We don't know why she's living underground now, but she wants to get back to the surface to sing. As we all know, her career, besides Mayor, is singing. She sang in, Odyssey. She's all about singing. So she wants to get back up onto the surface and sing. And apparently Donkey Kong is going to help her, which is very interesting because we only know of Donkey Kong and Pauline as having an adversarial relationship as based on the original Donkey Kong game, because Mario, or at the time Jumpman, was trying to save Pauline from Donkey Kong. So why are these two buddy
Maybe
now?
it was all misunderstanding, because in this game they showed that you go, down through different levels through the ground, and then Donkey Kong, the original, you are going up different levels. So maybe he was bringing her up, and Jumpman thought she was being kidnapped.
Maybe I saw somebody say that exact same idea. Basically, they were saying like the game is going to end with like the iron girder platforms where like Donkey Kong gets back up, and then they were saying
you have to fight
Mario,
this little jerk who's chasing you guys, and you're like, I'm trying to help, but you can't understand because he doesn't speak Seth Rogen.
That's right.
Is Seth Rogen in it? Is he the voice?
No. And that's what somebody was saying. They were like, maybe New Donk City is named New Donk City in Odyssey because Pauline wanted to pay tribute to her childhood friend Donkey Kong. So who knows? I don't know if the lore is actually going to tie in and actually make sense. I don't really give a crap. If it does, that's interesting and fun, but I'm not going to play Donkey Kong Bonanza and be like, the lore makes no sense here. This has ruined the game for me. The crazy thing about me, I'm not playing Donkey Kong games for story. I'm not saying the story is bad, and if there's story that it wouldn't be interesting, but that's not why I'm playing these games.
It just looks like fun.
It just looks like fun. It's
Did you
right.
watch it?
Yeah.
So we
I
got
didn't
to
get to watch
see all kinds of awesome gameplay, and it's like screaming with personality and platforming, like the kind of platforming you expect from Nintendo, and like wild level design, and it just looks
food-based
so good.
levels?
There's bananas. I did not see a food-based level. Doesn't mean
Mhm.
there's not a food-based
This
level.
is all
There
underground.
will be.
It is all underground, but it's one of those weirdo things where you go underground and there's still
There's
like
like
a
a world,
sky, and
yeah.
there's like a world. It's like Land of the Lost or something like
Or
that.
the King Kong. does
Oh
that,
my God, you're right.
right? Especially the new ones with King Kong and Godzilla.
And you'll be able to upgrade Donkey Kong's abilities through different
Big
skills.
old robot fist for some reason.
So you get Bananium or whatever. I don't remember what it's called, but you get skill
Bananium.
points to
Is
upgrade.
it really what it's called?
Yeah.
It's
Banana.
Who
awesome.
wrote this? What's his name? Same guy that wrote Avatar? What's that guy's name? James Cameron?
Unobtainium.
Unobtainium and Bananium.
And Marvel's got Vibranium, and
Well, yeah.
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 that's not real. Adding Eum to something is a
Adamantium.
big deal. Real hot right now.
Yeah.
Come on, the game name's got a pun in it right there. Bonanza. It's not even spelled right.
Donkeyum.
Donkey Kong.
We need more Donkeyum. You take the Donkeyum and you mix it with the Kongium. This game, we also saw that there was speculation that it would have co-op, and it does have co-op. You can share a Joy-Con 2 controller, and a friend can control Donkey Kong and Pauline separately in local co-op play. And you can make her yell out like big Donkey Kong related phrases.
I ripped that off of Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
What?
Get the
I
second
also say
controller,
what?
and you can
Oh,
play
just-
as Tails, mess around.
Oh, I got you.
Mess around.
Tails can get rings. That's true. I guess he can kill
Stolen.
enemies too.
Stolen.
Stolen legally.
Stolen valor.
Do we get any backstory about his necktie?
Well, he's wearing overalls, and Cranky makes a comment about somebody
he's
wearing clothes
overalls
too.
in this one?
You can see him in overalls, yes.
No,
And there's no necktie.
I didn't watch the clip, so I don't.
There is
Oh,
no
shit.
necktie.
What do you mean there's no necktie?
He's so good.
When he's wearing the overalls, there's no necktie. He's wearing a pair of overalls. He's got like one strap down.
Oh,
You can get a whole bunch of outfits.
To answer your
Okay.
question, he doesn't know where the tie comes from. And
No,
we're
I-
hoping to find out
Well,
during the game.
we're gonna find out that he's like on his way to a job interview when Pauline's like, "Help me," and then he's like, "Well, I gotta help her because I'm that kind of guy." Or
Hell of a job interview where your business attire decision is just a tie.
I mean, he's living underground.
Not,
There's a lot of other things you can question.
but we also see him wearing overalls, so he knows pants are a thing. His business choice for an interview is just a tie.
maybe the overalls is for a different job. You know, dress for
He's
the
got-
job you
he
want.
works- he works two
How many
jobs.
jobs is? Nowadays, you're right. Times are tough. You need like 3 or 4 jobs.
Well, he
Also, I
wears-
mean, if he's
yeah.
destroying everything, he's gonna get fired.
Big jobs.
Unless his job is to destroy things.
You can also, yes, there's lots of destruction in this game. You can punch and destroy everything. You can punch your way into the ground. You can punch your way through walls. You can, well, as long as the materials allow it. But yes, you can basically dig through anything you want and go anywhere you want. Also, this game uses game share, which is really cool. So if you'd like to play co-op with someone and they're like, but I only have a regular Switch, you can say, well, don't worry, we can still play co-op because you can game share it to them and they can play co-op on their regular Switch
On
with
a
your
regular Switch?
Yeah,
Wow.
with your Switch too. It's true. It's true because your Switch 2 is the host and you are beaming the content to the original Switch.
Does it have to be local? Or can this be over the internet?
It is, I believe it is both. I believe it's both.
I believe.
Also, you
Hey,
can do that
Steve.
with Split Fiction too. If somebody on Switch 2 has Split Fiction, they can join. Someone with a Switch 1 can join you through Game Share.
Very
Remember,
cool.
if you're playing Split Fiction, remember, go to Cracker Barrel. If you're playing Split Fiction, only one of you needs to buy the game.
Interesting.
The other one does not need
I
to
didn't
buy
think
it.
about this.
Very
And you can
good.
play what you just said with somebody who only has a Switch.
Donkey Kong Bonanza, you can play
Oh,
co-op.
not Split Fiction.
Split Fiction, yes. Both games, same thing. So, Split Fiction, you are playing the full game alongside someone. Donkey Kong Bonanza, you are playing co-op. It's the full game, but like, you know, you're just hanging out as Pauline, screaming at people. We got confirmation that some familiar faces will return. Cranky Kong is in there, which we already told you he would be. But we did see that Diddy and Dixie are returning. They are in there. What they do, I don't know. At one point, we see them sitting behind what looks like some sort of information desk. There's another scene where we see them out racing. So something's going on. So they're there. But
Ramby races.
they are riding Ramby, right? It looked like somebody was riding Ramby.
Yeah. In fact, the big skidoo is everyone thought there was only one Ramby, and there's like two Ramby as they're like
So
racing.
we've been saying it wrong the whole time. It's Ramby.
Well, that perhaps
Multiple Ramby.
that's something we're gonna have to find out.
Well,
when we play.
Ramby could be the plural of Rambo.
Okay, yes, that's
Okay,
true, but
I
no one's
suppose
mentioning Rambo,
could.
so. And there's also a special
He's a decorated veteran.
DK artist option as well. If you'd like to do something very Mario 64-esque, you basically get a stone and you can use the mouse controls to chisel it into a wonderful piece of art. And they showed some footage of that. There's a new Donkey Kong amiibo to go along with this as well, if you'd like. It's Donkey Kong and Pauline, comes out the same day as the game on July 17th. Scan Donkey Kong character amiibo figures and you'll earn gold Kong tiles. If you scan any other amiibo, you'll receive a giant sphere of terrain material to aid you on your adventure. So there you go, July 17th. It looks freaking fantastic. Very much looking forward to that. Here you go, Nicky Hill. Banana slice shaped items called Banandium chips and gold nuggets called Banandium gold. You can trade Banandium chips for Banandium gems at the chip exchange.
Gosh.
Diddy and Dixie got to be at the chip exchange. That's it. And Banandium gold for useful items at the stuff shop. You can also dig for these banana shaped goodies, and you may also discover fossils. If you happen to find one during your excavations, take them to these style shops and trade them for different fashions for Donkey Kong and Pauline, almost all of which become useful with extra benefits, as well as different fur colors for Donkey Kong. Tug at my fur.
Looks like I'll be searching for fossils.
Where are the rat robes?
Collecting gold builds up their bananergy.
Mhm.
Oh.
So there you go, July 17th.
Banana
Digital and physical. If you're going physical, the game is all on one game card, no game key card here. It takes up 8.5 gigs if you're downloading, so a small size, but there you go. Ice Dilbert says, I wish there was more to do in the game. Ha. Looking at pre-orders now. Any pre-order bonuses out there? That is a joke from Ice Dilbert because there's a load of stuff to do in this game. I am so excited to get in there and find every last little thing. I can already tell it's going to be one of those kind of games for me. This looks so freaking good. Cannot wait. Very excited. So,
Ooh. Cumulative said Donkey Fiction Bonanza Split. I'd play
that's
that.
the sequel.
I'd play that.
We didn't get to that yet. Yeah, we'll say. I'll do this very quickly.
Okay.
Another Switch 2 exclusive coming out this year, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. We found out that, oddly enough, it wasn't going to be a Switch 2 exclusive. It actually wasn't even going to be on Switch 2 at all. The developers revealed that, this is Koei Tecmo, that they were actually making Age of Imprisonment for the original Switch, and then halfway through development, Nintendo's like, hey, we got this thing we're working on. And they were like, well, yeah, we want to do it there. So they stopped development on the original Switch and moved it over to Switch 2, which obviously for those kind of games will make a huge difference. People who are playing the Hyrule Warriors games on Switch, or the Hyrule Warrior games from Switch on Switch 2 right now, are seeing that at least one of those games has an uncapped frame rate, so it runs much better on Switch 2. Now with the release or the upcoming release of Age of Imprisonment on Switch 2, obviously you get way more enemies and a much better frame rate because of the horsepower of the system. So it will be the craziest one yet in terms of waves of enemies and the amounts of enemies and all that stuff, which is what those games are all about. The Dynasty Warrior games and all the spin-offs. So look forward to more enemies than ever. Those games, I am not a Dynasty Warriors fan. I played the original on PS2 and I was like, it's fine. But the mix of like Zelda lore and enemies and like the storylines in with the like this, I don't care about like, here's this historical figure and his special move is based off, something he did in life. Like, that's cool. Don't get me wrong.
Why would you?
But I don't personally care about that. But give me like, here's Tingle and here's his special move based off of Major. I'm like, I love this. This is fantastic. So this is the
history I can get down with.
Right. Real history too. So that's why these games do it for me. They ended up being a lot more fun than I expected them to be. So
which Dynasty Warrior shot JR? Oh God, that's Dallas. Damn it.
I was waiting for you to come to that realization. Yeah. I was like, for a split second, I was like, I don't get it. And I was like, oh, I know what he means here. It's okay. You got a lot more show left to
please
think of other
tell
puns.
me the
calm down,
the live
Dana.
feed.
The show's just getting started.
Please tell me the live feed is still down and nobody heard that.
Let's see.
I just saved you.
No, they're talking. They're talking. Zeldude says, so was Mario Kart World. I'd even bet Donkey Kong Bonanza also started development for Switch. Nowadays, most launch games would have started development on the previous system. Yeah, there's always that guess. I don't know about Donkey Kong Bonanza only because I imagine like Nintendo's like, we want some real nice showstoppers at Switch 2 launch. Let's make sure we, give our full focus on these games for Switch 2. And then you have things like Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. And
oh yeah, I heard that's out already.
Out now? That's
out now.
That's right. That's not a top story. Did you see
How
that
does
story?
that even happen?
Yeah.
Was
that even real, or did somebody just put a sticker over a poster? Or
it's 100% real.
Crazy.
And that Out Now logo is exactly the same as the one that is on the Mario Kart World poster that's next to it. So somehow the person who did that accidentally copied the wrong logo and put it on that. And all the passes it went through, nobody picked up on that. And then it got printed out, and whoever looks at the physical print was like, everything's good here. And then it got put up. Like, all the people had to pass
What's
by.
a Metroid?
Yeah, all the people had to pass by for that to happen.
Check out this guy on this Metroid game. That's what they were saying.
Why can't Metroid crawl?
Beyond.
We're not going to do that. Yeah, we already covered the Sony stuff. We don't need to do that.
Yeah.
But we will do this. There's a rumor that Shift Up Corporation, which is the developer of Stellar Blade, which is a game one of the few games on PS5 I own and I actually like. I didn't love it, but I really liked it. I enjoyed the music a lot. I thought it was visually impressive. I thought the gameplay was fun. It was a very good start to a brand new IP. I really did enjoy that game. The game just went over to PC, launched on PC, and found great success there as well. So the game is fun. So the game is doing quite well for Shift Up, which is very nice to see. Nice to see a new IP getting some love out there. Now we're hearing that Stellar Blade might be coming to the Switch too. Word got out that Shift Up was working on Stellar Blade for the Switch too. Shift Up has said they want to bring Stellar Blade everywhere they can, but no official confirmation. But word came out that they're working on a Switch 2 version of Stellar Blade. A representative for the company followed that up by saying nothing has been confirmed regarding the development for Switch 2. And that's how you know it's happening, because that is the PR kung fu statements that you always get from everybody when something is definitely happening. Ooh. They don't want to say it's not happening because that would be untrue, but they also don't want to confirm it's happening. So they're like, let's say this, quote, nothing has been confirmed regarding the development for Switch 2. Yeah, we know. That's why we're asking you. So my opinion is they're definitely doing it. They just aren't ready to announce it yet.
Well, I guess they're asking through like email or something, right? It's not like
No, they put
live.
out a statement because the story came out and it became a big report, and they were like, "Oh crap,
But,
we
like,
got to
if-
say something. We
if
can't tell them we're not
if
doing
somebody
it."
were to ask that, like, at an event or something, the answer should just be like, "Oh, that would be cool," and be done with it,
I've
you
seen
know?
plenty of developers. I've had developers do that to me personally. I've had people at Way Forward do that to me, where I've asked about something,
Oh.
obviously Shantae related. They'd be like, "That's a cool idea."
Oh, great idea! You
Yeah.
You want to get on the payroll? Come
And
on.
then
come
I
on
go to
over.
leave the room after my appointment,
This
and right
guy's got all
before
the
I get out the
ideas.
door, I hear Way Forward being like, "That dork, you hear that dork's like,
Not
that
even
idea sucked. That's the
close."
worst idea I ever heard." Um,
That's so mean.
They are mean. Way Forward, very mean. By the way, I didn't
They're
get to
very
talk to you
forward.
about this. Not a top story, but I mentioned Way Forward, and it's related to Way Forward in some way
Mm.
because Yacht Club is made up of former Way Forward developers, and
Oh.
Yacht Club made Shovel Knight, but their next game is Mina the Hollower, which you backed on Kickstarter,
Yes.
and it finally got its release date. It's coming out this Halloween. After all that time, it's
Yeah.
finally coming
I
out.
got an email about it and everything.
Oh, that's right. I didn't even think you probably got an email about it, but
yeah.
it's finally happening.
Well, you know how I love
Emails.
that art style. That something that takes you back to the Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color type era. So I had to back it,
Mhm.
and I'm excited that Halloween is the release date, and I believe, is that what you said?
Yeah.
And I believe I could get it on any system I'd like.
You backed it, and you
So
can
I
take
could
your
say
code
Switch
however you
2.
want.
I could say
They
Switch
haven't
2.
officially said it's coming out on Switch 2 yet. I'm sure it will, but it doesn't matter because you could get this.
That would be awkward.
You could get the Switch one and play it on Switch 2. Like, it'll work.
Hopefully.
Makes sense.
I'm sure it will get a Switch.
But what
2
about the
release.
graphics? Oh, just kidding.
Higher resolution. Probably play that sucker in 4K.
Oh, baby. Well, better
Um,
come to Switch 2 because that's how we all want to play our old handheld style games.
It's new. It's brand new.
New
I have like no.
style.
There's no point in me.
Old style.
Here's
new
the best
game.
part.
Is that a setting to change, or does it automatically just like
What, the
put
4K?
it? Yeah.
You can. There's a setting in there that's like played at whatever resolution it's supposed to be played at, or capable of playing on your TV. Yeah, it'll auto detect. It's automatic.
Yeah, my
But-
TV's old.
Fluorescent. Booger.
Keep in mind, you're talking to an official backer, so be nice.
I was gonna say, since you're officially a backer, you can you say whatever you want because
Thank
your opinion. I don't want to say doesn't matter, but what I should say is any opinion from you is valid because you were still, no matter what the opinion is, nice enough to back the game and make it happen.
Yeah,
So,
and I'm gonna
Did you back it?
I'm gonna play it.
no, we had this.
He
whole
doesn't
talk.
do
You
that.
don't do that.
He doesn't do that.
I don't feel it's appropriate.
Tony De La Mancha asked if there was a chance you could pre-order it as a Game Boy Advance cartridge.
Did they say Game Boy Advance?
GBA. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'll have to email them back and ask, even though it says don't email, don't
Do
reply
not
to this
email
email.
us about cartridges.
Yeah.
So, and if you had a PC, you could play a new demo for it.
They're
right
just
now.
gonna
There's a new
send my
demo.
$20 back to me. I think at this
After
point.
hearing this, yeah, they're gonna be like, "We don't need it. We're okay with that."
Here's a question that I had for you too. Is there any world in which there can be a hardware add-on that can maybe connect with the USB port or something to the Switch 2 to play Wii or Wii U games?
Are you saying could that be a thing?
Could that be? a
Yes,
thing?
100%.
Okay.
Somebody could do that. Why you would, I don't have any idea at all. But yes,
Why not?
because you'd just be basically hooking up a old system through the Switch 2 and using the Switch 2 as like there's a word I'm trying to
Well,
think of, but
backwards
it'd just be like a
compatibility.
video pass through.
Backwards compatibility.
But it wouldn't be backwards. I guess yes.
Right. I mean,
Technically,
is it-
somebody
is it-
could make a
what-
disk
is it-
drive for the Switch 2 that you would plug in through
There's
USB.
no, but like,
It is 100% possible, but it would
but
be
I'm
a
thinking
nightmare
about
to
like the different adapters that they had for like the GameCube to play Game Boy Advance games or
Yes.
something like that.
do. Yes.
That was just a pass through.
I mean, that it's co-opting the video, but the
But you
bottom part basically has a GBA in it. That bottom part is a GBA just without a
Right.
screen.
All right, I don't know.
So you're saying you want a Wii U to hook up to the Switch?
or the Wii to play games that like backwards, just to be fully backwards compatible.
Well,
if there
why
was a-
wouldn't
if
you
there was
just
a
have
world
your
to do that.
Wii hooked up? Then?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Well, mine got
Water damaged.
Yeah, got damaged.
I have like 6 Wii's. You want one?
No, I mean I'm not going to play it. I was just wondering if there was a chance of that ever happening. Some
There-
people, listen. I'm a voice of the people.
It-
Some people, some
It
people are
is,
talking
but
about
like,
this.
but that's the thing. No one's talking about that specifically. Like with the GBA to the GameCube, the novelty in that was being able to play the stuff on TV. Like with the Wii and the Wii U, you can already play those on TV. Like it'd be more, I guess, so you could play them handheld on the Switch. Like that would be horrible.
no, you wouldn't play that handheld.
But that's my point. I'm saying the GBA player on GameCube exists so you could play your GBA games on TV. So for this to make any sense, you'd have to want to play it somewhere else. So to play your Wii games on the go,
I guess
but
I
you'd
mean,
still be using like a Wii remote to point. It would
backwards
be
compatibility is just always a talking point. It's always like in the plan to some degree.
terrible. To some degree, yes.
Yeah.
To that degree, no. But to some
Mm.
degree, yes. There's a point I was going to make.
I mean, look at all these other companies that are releasing games on all these other formats.
There was a point I was going to make, and it was about backwards compatibility, and I was really excited to talk about it. And oh yes, your crazy idea, which no one is ever going to do. You're talking about, could it be possible? Yes, it is possible. And to put in perspective why it's never going to happen, some guy just now this year built a PS1. Like he built it himself. It has taken him this long to build a
Why didn't he
PS1
just buy
not
one?
using any Sony parts. Like he officially built his own PS1. And it plays all PS1 games as it should. But it's so ridiculously hard and insane to do that. It took the man, what, 25 plus years, 30 years, longer than that, 40 years.
Has
now.
he been working on it that whole time?
Well, no, because he was a little kid. But like for over a decade, easy, he's been working on it. Yeah.
Poor guy.
So now, like, if anything breaks on it, he can just like take a little piece out and put in the replacement piece. But that's how that stuff works. It's
Man.
like to reverse engineer that stuff is insane.
Now, if he instead started building the PS6 back then, he'd have like, maybe something.
Which is the Sony Crystal game system that we're supposed to
Crystal
get? Was that
Pepsi.
9?
The PS9 was the sphere, yeah, the crystal sphere. We're not there yet. We're getting there. The King Up North talking about Stellar Blade on potentially Switch 2. That'd be really cool. I got Cyberpunk yesterday, and I'm actually hugely impressed at how well it looks and runs in both handheld and docked. I've got a PC with a 4090, so I'm more than aware of how it can look when fully maxed out and path traced at 120 Hz 4K display. But Switch 2 surprisingly holds its own and is impressive considering its form factor. I was looking at a YouTube video about its battery life, and apparently it gets like 2.5 hours with Cyberpunk. That game looks this good running at 10 watts on a slim handheld, and I was mainly playing Phantom Liberty expansion, which is apparently more taxing than regular Cyberpunk. That is true. They have said that. CD Projekt Red has said that. That's actually nuts. DLSS is magic. It does have dynamic resolution scaling, so occasionally things look a tad fuzzy, but for the most part, it looks quite solid. And nowhere near as fuzzy as something like Doom 2016 on the original Switch. Texture quality is also a ton clearer than what I was expecting, and the 40 frames per second performance mode feels better than I thought it would, even in mouse mode. It's not 60 frames per second, but a great in-between considering the form factor. I put my ROG Ally in turbo mode. I could get better visual experience, but at that point, I'd only get like 45 minutes of battery life, and it's not really a handheld at that point, just a battery anxiety deliverer. Also, cross-save is such a nice feature to have. I can just use my PC save on Switch 2 and vice versa. That is true. Switch 2 version has cross-save. So my PC can essentially be docked mode if I want it to be. Every multi-platform game should have cross-save. They're getting there. They got a long way to go, but more developers are doing it. So with Cyberpunk looking this good as a launch title, I'm very curious to see how other AAA games look when they come to Switch 2. Yeah, I mean, at the start, very strong showcase for the Switch 2 at start from a horsepower and visual perspective. I agree. And yeah, as we get deeper into the system's lifespan and we see more people toying with DLSS and all that stuff, it should be very interesting. I agree 100% with all of that comment. We'll do our releases last. Here you go. We got a Switch 2 sales update. Switch 2 has officially sold over 1 million units in Japan alone. Took the system not even 2 weeks to sell over 1 million units in Japan alone. I want to stress that's with 2 weeks worth of retail data. So regular retailers. That figure.
including digital sales.
Digital sales of a physical system. This figure does not include the units sold through Nintendo via the My Nintendo service, which is hundreds of thousands of units. So it is very likely the Switch 2 sold in its first week over 1 million units in Japan alone. Just Nintendo hasn't released their figures in that number. So now that we have 2 weeks worth of official traditional retail data, we can officially say it's over 1 million units sold. But again, probably did it much quicker. To put that into more perspective, Josh, the Switch 2 did in 11 days what the Switch 1 did in 20 weeks. It took the Switch 1 20 weeks to reach 1 million sold in Japan. It took the Switch 2 11 days to
But
do
they
that
probably
in Japan.
didn't have the inventory, no?
Mm-hmm. You're definitely right. Switch 2 inventory is much better. But 20 weeks better? That's crazy
That's hardcore.
impressive.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's crazy impressive.
Hell yeah.
So now the industry at large is talking about what is the upper threshold for a system's launch to achieve in its first month? Because Nintendo has shown that's right. With the Switch 2, we don't know how many units Nintendo really got out there, but the stock has been phenomenal. Nintendo has finally come through on their promise of we will have a good amount of stock at launch and we will continue that stock. So far, 2+ weeks in, that has been 100% true. So now all the analysts and companies are wondering, or industry people are wondering, what's the upper threshold? How much can a system sell at launch in its first month? Like how much is it limited by stock versus how much is it people want to get the system at launch? I don't know. We'll see where the Switch 2 ends up after its first month. Math says, I don't think the issue is with stock this time, but rather the limit each retailer can grant and stock those Switch 2 units to sell. Yeah, there's only so much space. There's only so much money they can get. There's only so much turnaround that they could. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of other limiters there. And now we're seeing how much those play into things versus actual stock on hand matters. So, yeah, this is unprecedented territory. Here's another crazy tidbit. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom came out June 2023 on the original Switch. If you have a Switch 2, you can play the old version of the game if you'd like, but you can also play the Switch 2 edition of the game, which has all sorts of enhancements. You have the Zelda Notes stuff that you can do through the app. You can have increased frame rate. You can have higher resolution. The game just runs better overall. There's all that goodness. And people are reviewing that game, and outlets are re-reviewing the game from the original version. And that has led Tears of the Kingdom to now being the highest scoring video game on Metacritic of 2025. It sits at a 95 out of 100. That has dethroned the previous top game of the year. Any guesses?
Of 2025?
Yes, best reviewed game of 2025.
That's
Looking at you.
This year, huh? Expedition 33.
Yeah.
Am I right?
You got it exactly right.
Holy cow! I was just
Claire Obscure Expedition 33 is sitting at a
saying the
93.
right answer. That's what I was doing.
93 out of 100. So yes, Zelda has beaten that by 2 points. And now Claire Obscure is tied for second place with Breath of the Wild,
With
which has also
Obscure.
been re-reviewed and reviewed
So-
once again for Switch 2 edition. And it also sits at a 93.
Sorry.
Really? I'm just gonna say, so like people's problem with it was the resolution. And now that it has that, they're like, oh, it's a good game
Well,
now.
now
It's
that
like,
it has
didn't
a
have
better
fun playing
frame,
it.
better frame rate and higher resolution, it has been reviewed better. And I guess even from a, it doesn't matter, objective or subjective standpoint, everyone would agree that at the very least, a higher frame rate is better. Whether they would say higher resolution, yes, most people would say that, but I guarantee there are people who probably wouldn't notice. You're more likely to notice frame rate over resolution, but any way you slice it, it is a better experience from a technical standpoint. So for these reviewers, that's enough to bump it up a couple points. So how much did that factor into their score back then? We'll never know, but they can pretend like it factored in. So
Does this mean they
There we
can that these two games could be nominated for Game of the Year? at the
that's
Video
up
Game
to the
Awards?
Dorito Pope. And, you know, a game's DLC could be nominated for Game of the Year. So could a whole new release of the same game be nominated as Game of the Year? We'll find out,
Yeah,
Mr. Keeley.
right.
It's
We'll
weird
find
because
out.
it's not
And
called
Mark-
like Breath of the Wild remastered,
It's called
right?
Switch 2 edition.
Right.
And mark my words, if that is nominated for Game of the Year, I will have just as much of a hissy fit, if not more of a hissy fit than I did with Elden Ring's DLC, because that's bulldonk and it should not be Game of the Year worthy.
Bulldog
Bulldog
City.
Bonanza.
Oh my! Oh, so close, guys. Joe Shabadoo says
We tried.
outlets updating numerical reviews is always an interesting proposition. Software is a living digital organism in a way that film, TV, music, books aren't. A hardware release triggering a reevaluation is even more fascinating, although there is a minor software update. In my humble opinion, it just underscores how tired and toxic the numerical review rubric has become. All that said, this game is deserving and it's great that people who waited to play this masterpiece will be able to experience the best version. Yes, I agree that the update is great, and it gives people an excuse to either revisit the game or play it for the first time. You get
And
no complaints
I'm
from me on
sorry
that.
for asking, but I'm going to ask.
You've asked a
If
lot.
you already own this game,
yes,
it's what, $10
yes,
for just the enhancements?
yes.
Okay.
Or if you're a Switch Online member, they are at no additional cost. So you are a family member and you have it.
And the enhancements include Link getting Botox and Zelda getting a breast augmentation.
There are mods out there for that, but no, that is not included in Nintendo's
those
version.
are not the enhancements we're talking about.
No, they are not. Yeah. We're going to do these stories together because this is going to be. Here's one of the rants I was talking about. This is about third-party sales
This
of
is what I
games
wanted to bring up earlier.
on
It's
Switch 2. Should we
funny that-
start with it?
It's funny that the two.
Oh, I know.
There's two stories.
I know.
They-
I know.
yeah.
I know.
Okay.
Here we go.
Let's just keep doing this for a while. Oh,
All right, now I want to say this first. This report came from the website The Game Business. This is a sort of new website, but it's by Jeff Keighley and Chris Dring. Chris Dring is a very well-respected, long-time video game writer.
Yeah,
like
that
the
name
guy
sounds very
knows his
familiar.
stuff. He is definitely a legitimate source. I know a lot of people are like, I've never heard of this site because it's pretty new. And they're like, this guy's YouTube channel doesn't get any views. It's views are low because it's very new. It's all very new. Plus, on top of that, a lot of their reporting is very business minded, and gamers aren't usually like rushing to that stuff. But every once in a while, you get a quote unquote gem, and this is one of those. So the Game Business put out a report about third-party sales on Switch 2. I will read you all the finer points of this report, and then we'll get into the trouble. 62% of Switch 2 physical game sales in the US for launch week were from first-party games. That excludes the Mario Kart World bundle. 48% of Switch 2 physical game sales in the UK launch week were from first-party games. 86% of Switch 2 physical games in the UK were from first-party games, including Mario Kart World's bundle. For the launch of the original Switch, 89% of UK physical game sales were from first-party. So there's your first detail. Switch 1 Switch 1 saw 89% of physical game sales at launch tied to first party. Switch 2 saw 86%. So a small but improved number for third parties on Switch 2. For the launch month of Switch 1 in the US, 81% of US physical game sales were from first party games. Obviously, we don't have the full month's data yet for Switch 2. Cyberpunk 2077 was the best selling third party game during Switch 2. We're talking physically. That's great to see. That beat launch sales of The Witcher 3 on Switch 1, which is extra great because Witch 3. Oh my God. Deep breath. The Witcher 3 came out on Switch 1 after the Switch 1 had already sold a good amount of systems. So a much bigger install base to work with there. Switch 2, we're just going to say 3.5 million. We know it's higher than that. But Switch 2, 3.5 million. Yet Cyberpunk sold better at launch on Switch 2 than Witcher 3 did on Switch 1. So that's very impressive. Sega was the number 3 biggest publisher on Switch 2 at launch. So that's great as well. So you'd have to imagine that goes Nintendo, CD Projekt Red, Sega. That's my guess is how it goes. When it comes to games released, both physically and digitally, over 80% of Switch 2 game sales came from physical retailers. There you go.
But wouldn't that's not including the bundle with Mario Kart World? And
Yeah.
for instance, I'm sure there's plenty of people like me who only bought the bundle
Yeah.
and only play Mario Kart World.
Yeah.
I mean, when I bought a Switch, I bought Breath of the Wild with it, which is a first party game. Obviously, these people, they're getting the bundle. They're not getting Mario Kart World counted as a sale. And then they might be getting Cyberpunk. So that's okay. So that's a third party. So it just looks like third party's doing better, or the numbers don't lie. So it's doing better. But I'd be willing to bet that like that Mario Kart bundle chunk is huge. Like, if I didn't get the bundle, that would have been the game I would have bought.
But we're looking.
There wasn't a Switch Breath of the Wild bundle when I bought it,
But that argument is just for units sold in general. We're looking for like what people are shelling out money for. So when you look at the Mario Kart bundle, yes, those people are doing it because it includes Mario Kart, but they're mainly getting the system. Like, so it's not right
But
to
also
count those
Mario
numbers in there.
Kart.
If you're looking at how many units has Mario Kart sold, and that's what you're looking at, then yes, you should look at the bundle too.
But will they even count the bundle because that's digital sales?
Count what bundle?
The Mario Kart sale as part of that or whatever, because that's digital.
Yeah, they. If you're looking at physical and digital sales altogether, yes, but in this instance, no.
Because Nintendo never releases their.
Well, we're not talking about Nintendo data here. We're talking about everybody else. But anyway, there's your details. Now, here's where things get. Here's where this is where it became a big story,
That's
and I
stupid.
knew it was going to be a big story. Because also in that report, a third party who has published games on Switch 2. We don't know who it is. We have a limited amount of outlet or publishers to pick from, but a unnamed third-party publisher on Switch 2 said that their game sales have come in, quote, below lowest estimates. So whatever they were expecting their Switch 2 releases to sell, it came in below their bottom line, whatever they were expecting. That's all the details we have on that. So of course, everything else we've said, Switch 2 third-party sales being better on Switch 2 launch than they were at Switch, all of that's ignored. All we have is one third-party publisher who is not named saying their sales were lower than they expected. And that's what became the big thing.
How were those expectations?
Well, none of it. We don't know who it is.
Right.
We don't know. So Sega was number 3 on the platform.
So it couldn't have been.
I'm gonna guess it's not them.
Maybe
they
they
could
were
still
like,
be
we're
number.
We're gonna be number 1 this time, and then there's
They
number
could
3,
still
and
be
like,
number 3 and be disappointed. That could be true. But if you're number 3, I would imagine it's not them. It still could be. That leaves Square Enix, who has Bravely Default, the HD remaster, and I think that's it from them. You have Capcom, who have Street Fighter 6, and I forget the name of the other one. It's a game I've been meaning to play.
Yakuza.
No, that's Sega. Let me look it up. Capcom. I'm gonna type in the word I think
Mega
it is
Man,
and see how
probably.
far off am I. Oh, I got it right. Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess. I've heard excellent things about that game. I've heard got amazing reviews, but I know it hasn't sold well anywhere. So Street Fighter 6, which has been out for a while, and this game, which has also been out for a while, but nobody really knows about it. I could see Capcom being upset about that.
Or maybe it's a company
That's my own speculation.
that's releasing, they've had success with the game and they're releasing it on the Switch 2 now, and based off the prior success, they're expecting higher numbers, but like you said, the install base isn't the same, and if somebody already owns it somewhere else, maybe they're not buying it on the Switch 2. So
all of this is
There's a
great
lot of-
discussion to have. This is exactly what I want to get into because
lot of
stuff that you
reasons.
said and stuff that you said. Now I said things to consider about this. 1, Mario Kart World makes incredibly difficult competition. Like Deux said, usually Nintendo dorks, when they buy a system, you're buying a first-party game at launch, and you're going to have that for a while, and that will
especially
be
when they're that expensive.
your only game for a while. And Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the number 1 best-selling game on the Switch. So to launch with the first new Mario Kart game since the Wii U, at the launch of a new system, yeah, people are probably going to buy that game, and that's going to be their game for a while. Also, like I said, go with that bundle and whatever. Switch 2 pricing is higher than Switch, obviously, so people have less money to work with. So they're probably like, I'll get the Switch 2 Mario Kart bundle, and then I'll be set for a while. I don't want to spend any more money. Multiple third-party Switch 2 offerings are ports of already released titles, including some games currently available on Switch. While the Switch user base really embraced third-party titles, that's when the Switch user base grew. Right now at Switch 2 launch, we're going to have the hardcore dedicated people that play a lot of video games on multiple systems. So it is quite likely they have played some of these games already on other platforms, but they were buying the Switch 2 because they want to play Mario Kart and Donkey Kong and first-party stuff, and then some other third-party stuff down the road. Call of Duty, bro. That's right. So your hyper-focused owners right at the beginning most likely play a lot of games and have played these games elsewhere. Yes, there are going to be people who double dip, if not triple dip, but they're not going to be a big portion of the market. There's also worth mentioning game key cards. They have proven unpopular when it comes to online discussion. Does that translate into real world reaction? Certainly to some degree. Is it a huge degree? I don't know. Is it a bigger degree with launch sales, that customer versus your average consumer? Without a doubt, yes, that would be true. The people who are online saying game key cards are the devil and Nintendo should go to hell, a decent amount of those people are going to be buying Switch 2 at launch, and they are not going to support that. So you're going to see more of that at launch and less of that as time goes on, because you get a more expanded audience. And mom and pop or family or grandparents or just your average gamer doesn't care when they go into the store that they buy a game key card. They probably won't even know. They'll put it into the system and be like, oh, there's a download, and they don't think anything of it. Also worth noting, no third-party Switch 2 game reviews out at launch. So it makes it people not knowing what's out, people not wanting to buy something because they don't know if the port is of good quality. And this is Nintendo's fault because third parties didn't want it this way, but Nintendo didn't send out hardware at launch. So no reviews at launch.
Could it have been Toby Fox who said that? Because Delta
No, because he was at launch. Toby Fox is in.
Or his sales lower than what
Sorry,
he was
maybe I'm
expecting.
thinking of the last story then.
No, what's your joke or serious comment?
Could he be
The company that's making these anonymous
No, this
comments.
is physical only.
Okay.
And I'm going to talk about Toby Fox in a minute because there's a good point to make there. But one more point. Switch 2 is backwards compatible with Switch 1. So you have a library of thousands of games, and we know that many of those games run much better on the Switch 2. So people are dipping into their old catalogs again. Nintendo has updated certain games. Other companies have updated certain games. The competition at launch for Switch 2 games between Nintendo first-party exclusives and updated Switch 1 games is insane. Yeah, people have, just look at first-party alone. Mario Kart World, Switch 2 Welcome Tour to a much lesser degree. Zelda, both versions updated again. Like that right there in and of itself, you have like between World and the two Zelda games,
the highest rated game of 2025.
Yeah, that's right. You're gonna like, it's insane. That's so much content. And people have done what I said they're gonna do. People are like, I'm just gonna pop in Tears of the Kingdom to see how it looks. And then they're like, I've put in 90 hours. Like that's what's happening. So if you know you're getting Mario Kart World, you have backwards compatible Switch 1 games that are gonna look and play better, then you're like, I'm good spending $500 for now. I'll take a little bit of time and then I'll buy Donkey Kong Bonanza next month and then we'll see where things go. So there's all kinds of reasons, but it's so crazy that this one little tidbit where a third party said they were upset, or that they didn't say that. They said their sales came in lower than expected. That's become the overarching conversation on top of how we already know third-party sales on Switch 2 are better than they were on Switch 1 at launch. It's crazy that this has gone as far as it's gone. There is validity to the discussion of third-party games on Switch 2. Now, here's my own thing. Call me crazy, but I don't think 12 days worth of sales data is enough to do an analysis and look at what's the Switch. Like, there's so many threads are like, is Switch 2 in trouble with third parties now? It's like, this is, A, you haven't read the original story because you would see all the positive stuff. B, we're 12 days into this thing, or we're 14 days into this thing. This is insanity to have this conversation now. And I said of Chris String, I respect him. I respect his reporting. I respect wanting to get the information, but call me crazy. Maybe it's a little reckless. Maybe it's a little, maybe jump the gun a little bit. Maybe let's wait a month to get the sales data and do that. I still think that's too early. I would say 6 months, beautiful. I would even go 3 months. Okay, we got something to work with. But 2 weeks, and you put this report out on the 2-week dot. So what does that mean? It's not 2 weeks worth of data. You're looking at
8 days, maybe
a week and a half at most. Like, it's crazy. It's a little irresponsible, in my opinion, and no ill will to Chris String at all, because this is stuff people do want to know. But I believe it a little irresponsible to not at the very least, wait a month. But I still think a month would be crazy. But again,
Gotta get those clicks.
now all this happens.
It's a new website.
Play age. I don't want to say that. Like, I'm sure when he was putting it together, he knew it would get attention. But I don't want to say that about Chris. Like, Chris really does very good reporting, and it's very reliable.
but he's just reporting what some company claims.
Well, he reached out to them for comment,
Oh.
and they were like, "Here's the truth. Don't tell anybody who we are." But yes, I'm just a little surprised that he was like, "Now is the time to dive into the sales for software and see
but
how
I think
everything's
I
doing."
think it goes along with what we said earlier about people being upset when like there's with the amount of content that they are getting or whatever. Like, I feel like either companies or analysts, whoever, they throw out these lofty goals that really don't seem to have. I mean,
Any
I'm
basis
sure
in
they have a
reality?
basis, but I don't see the like I don't see the relationship there. It just seems like they're throwing out arbitrary numbers, and then when they
Some
don't
of them
hit
are.
it, well, analysts are the worst with that, where they're just like, if they don't sell 14 million in the first 3 weeks,
Yeah.
they're doomed. And then it's like it's selling phenomenally well, better than anything that's come before it, and they'll still just stand by the fact that they're doomed or like whatever.
Well, the pessimist in me, which is very, very, very tiny, but sometimes very loud, when it comes to stuff like this, I think, well, any way you look at the Switch 2 sales right now, any way you slice it, it can't be anything other than incredibly positive. So where can I look to make a story that's a little divisive?
Yeah.
That's the pessimist in me. I don't really think that's what happened. But I know people out there are like, how can I spin this story
And
to make sure that I'm going to get like people riled up? Like, there's a Joy-Con 2 Switch. There's a Joy-Con 2 story out there.
that is pinching people.
And they're like, people worried about Joy-Con 2 drift already as Nintendo causes concern. And I'm like, this is funny because I've seen no concern or complaints. What's going on? Nintendo is continuing the program in the United States of, if your Joy-Con has an issue, we will repair it for free. So outlets have decided that means Joy-Con 2 has drift. No reports of it. No one said anything. Maybe someone somewhere, I don't know, but there's no nothing. But outlets are like, this is our headline, this is our story.
Well, also news stories sometimes come from like one person's tweet or one person's post on social media or something,
Very true.
where they're like, "Oh, I wonder if this is going to be the same situation." Yeah. So then that's a news story. Oh, is it possible that this is this is what's going to happen again? Like,
yep.
I hate it. It's just not news anymore. It's just opinions.
Yep.
And it's like they take one small little one sentence justifies a whole news article.
I 100% agree. Play Asia, which is a retailer that specializes in importing titles, but they definitely know their stuff when it comes to selling retail games in the retail space. They responded to this on social media with a very lengthy, very level-headed response. I'm not going to read it to you, but basically Play Asia was like, guys, chill. We're getting like no part of the picture here.
Daddy,
like
chill.
this is ridiculous. What the hell? Or was he?
What the hell is even
what
that?
the hell does even that mean? So their statement, they put out that statement. I was like, that's really cool that they did that. Nobody's pushing them to do that. They got no dog in the fight. They just sell games. People come to them and buy games. So I was like, that was cool to see from them.
I thought it was Play Asia.
Oh my God.
Like
if I've been saying it wrong, they follow me on Twitter and I've been saying their name wrong the whole time. Most upvoted comment comes from Entropy, who says, F you game key cards. And that's how the internet works, because of course people see this and they're like, yeah, because nobody wants game key cards. And again,
that is stupid.
That is true for some people. I would argue it's a bigger group of people at the Switch 2 launches because of the nature of the consumer that's buying games. But as we go on, I believe that won't be the case. But we're not done with this story yet because we have the second part. Friend of the site, our favorite analyst,
Matt Piscatelli.
Matty Piss, chimed in on this. And he went on social media and he was like, I don't even want to wade into this conversation. But here's what's going on. Third-party shares of Switch 2 software in the US is, quote, far better, end quote, than it was during Switch 1's launch. Third-party unit share of Switch 2 physical software during its first week reached just shy of 40%, a 60-40 split between first-party and third-party. That's fantastic. That's really good. Third-party unit share of original Switch software during month 1 was less than 20%. So Switch 2 third-party in its first week was just shy of 40%. Switch 1 in its first month, third parties saw less than 20%. So Switch 2 is double what Switch 1 was in its first month. So there's just a little bit of information from Matty Piss. And again, he said, I don't want to have this conversation. He said, quote, look, it's way too early and the sample size of games is far too small to do any of this, end quote. He's Mr. Circana. He is the game sales guru for the United States. You cannot go any higher than him. He's the guy that knows the sales information acutely. He's saying this is stupid. I don't want to talk about this. We shouldn't be doing this. Here's the data we have from a week and a half to show you it's better than Switch 1. And then he said, I'm muting this thread because he's not replying to anybody because there's no conversation to be had. So he's like, this, we shouldn't be talking about this. But of course, it became a huge thing.
I have spoken.
I went on Blue Sky where Matty Piss is. And I said, hey, Matt, I knew he wasn't replying to comments on the other thing. So I just sent him a message directly. And I was like, Matt, you're a great guy. I understand these conversations suck.
I understand.
Thank you for taking the time to put the data out there. Paraphrasing what I said. And he replied and he's like, thank you. That's very kind of you. He obviously is so tired of dealing with this stuff and he doesn't want to touch on it at all. But of course, when this story comes out, every outlet and every organization and everybody is coming out of the woodwork to be like, tell us what's going on. And he's like, here's the data we have from 10, 11 days. Like this, it's so stupid. We will revisit this with the Circana data for the when the month wraps, but that'll be end of July somewhere. We were supposed to get the June data for sales in general this past month, but they got delayed to July. So the July numbers could get delayed as well. I don't know. But there, now you have the whole piece of the puzzle. And I know there will be people who listen to this and will say, Nintendo fanboy with his flame shield defending the fires and pushing back against the narrative. And no, if something goes crappy for Nintendo, I will tell you it. But I will always tell you factually. The Wii U was a failure. Factual. 13.45 million sold. That system had no penetration. The Virtual Boy was even worse than that. Third-party numbers on the Wii after the first half of the system were horrendous. I will always tell you the facts. The facts for the Switch 2 is third parties are doing better market share-wise than they were on the Switch in the same amount of time. And that's that. We don't have enough data to analyze. It's crazy that this conversation's happening. So there you go. So tired of it. It's ridiculous. But without negativity, it wouldn't be the internet. Tendonin says, look, it's way too early. He quotes Matty Piss and says, yeah, but think about all the content trademarked there is to produce based on the incomplete information. And then we can have some lively discourse. Copyright. That's what I was. Copyright. About $90 games and how Charles Martinet isn't allowed to use public restrooms anymore. Tendonin, what a great comment. That BS about Charles Martinet that came out, when that report came out, I was like, this is in no way, shape, or form what Charles Martinet said. This is not true at all. And I guarantee he's reading this stuff and is horrified. And I said, I'm not even going to post about this until he responds, because at this point he's going to have to. And that's exactly what happened. It was some influencer was like, Charles Martinet isn't allowed to do Mario's voice anymore because Nintendo won't let him. And I was like, well, that's certainly not true. Maybe they won't let him record videos or something.
I mean,
but
my
if you're at
spiders and my flies were on top of this a long time ago,
If
so
you're
this
at-
is news to me.
if you're at a fan event, I'm sure like he'll say whatever you want. He's just going to be like, please, if you record it, don't put it on the internet, or maybe don't record it. He's not going to be like, I can never do Mario's voice. I am not allowed to. What are you doing? Oh, can I help you? Are you all right? I'm like, there's no way that's what this situation is. And then Charles Martinet had to come out and say, I'm allowed to do the voice. You can see me at an event and I'll talk to you as Mario. He's like, I just want to protect the integrity of the character, and there's some things that I won't say. So they're like, Mr. Martinet, say Mario, finger my butt. And he's going to be like, I don't want to say that. And that turns into Martinet's not allowed to do Mario voice or Nintendo will kill him.
Wow. I never even thought of asking him to
That's
say
in,
that.
That's
Of
in Mario
course.
is Missing. A very little known line.
My goodness. No wonder he was missing.
So yeah, great comment, Tindone. And that's a comment of the month for me. We got to start doing that comment of the month. But there you go. That's the whole rigmarole. And it's a big mess. And we're done with it unless either of you have something you want to say.
What can be said?
Okay.
Matty Piss.
Then we'll move on. Matty Piss, thank you for coming in. Thank you very much for saying what needed to be said. We have a rumor about the Mario plus Rabbids development team. That so as Ubisoft Paris and Ubisoft Milan were the divisions of Ubisoft that were working on that series. Those divisions still exist at Ubisoft, but they're working on other things now. What?
Milano cookies.
Oh,
So
they are
delicious.
good. They made Kingdom Battle, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, and Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Both games were critically lauded. The second more than the first. The first game was a was a commercial success. The second one was not. I don't know where the sales are for that one now, though. But everybody at the time didn't buy it because most people said they didn't buy it because they were like, I know the price will drop if I just wait a month, and that's how Ubisoft games work. So it really hurt them, it seems. But I'm sure there were other reasons. But anyway. That game sealed the fate of that team, and they were disbanded. But apparently, we're hearing from once again the game business's Chris String that team pitched another game to Ubisoft, and I don't mean another Mario plus Rabbids game. They pitched another game that has some sort of Nintendo collaboration, but it was squashed because Sparks of Hope just didn't achieve the sales that were expected, and the team was disbanded. So what that collaboration was, we'll never know, but it certainly will never happen now because those people have moved on to other projects. We hear they're working on a Rayman game, and we know that Davide Soliani is in his own company now. So the guy that basically steered the ship for those games doesn't even work there anymore. So yeah, that's probably dead in the water. As far as Mario plus Rabbids goes, and the new game that they pitched probably will never come to
They
fruition.
all went back to working on Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Somehow that's still in development. Yep. I don't know.
I mean, listen, if
Why
there are
would you
people
say
actively
that?
working on it and getting paid,
they are.
good for them.
True and true. It is happening. Will it actually release?
I mean,
What am I supposed to say at this point? It's been decades, literally.
milk it if you want. If that's what's paying your bills,
Milk it. It's not paying their bill. It's paying the employees' bills.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like, yeah, I'll keep working on this game that's never going to come out. Game Freak 613 says they made good games, made horrible pricing decisions that put them in this mess. Ubisoft, unfortunately, is still on my do not buy list for other reasons too. Well, a lot of people feel that same way about Ubisoft. So, let's stick with the rumors, and then we'll do that one. Another rumor. Here's what we know for fact. Square Enix is supporting the Switch 2 in a big way. Bravely Default got its remaster on Switch 2.
They're not thrilled with the sales.
We don't
Just kidding.
know.
I'm
if it's them.
kidding.
We don't know.
Also, they are doing Final Fantasy VII Remake. And they are doing Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD Remake. And they are doing Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles, which is a remake. I'm not so upset about that remake because it stays very close to the original, from what we can see. It's basically the director on it was like, it's so hard to play the original now, and you can't get it anywhere. and we didn't want that to be the case anymore. So they're doing like it's like a soft remake. It's it's got quality of life stuff and everything, but it retains the look of the original. I'm as far as remakes go, I'm okay with this one. I'm someone who's never played Final Fantasy Tactics, so this would be a great time for me to go in and get it. Because I was so afraid of RPGs. Forget it. A tactical RPG? Oh my God, that'd be the worst. So I can go right that wrong. We have a friend whose name Grimbles, who loved Tactics. And for years, he was like, when are they going to put out Tactics on something where I can play it? Or when are they going to make a new Tactics? As soon as this game was announced, I messaged him and he was in disbelief. So I guess he made it happen. But anyway, Square Enix, big support for Switch 2. Rumor has it that even more support is coming. Final Fantasy XVI's producer and creative director appeared on a live stream that Square Enix does. It's called Letter from the Producer, where the producers of various Final Fantasy games get together for a live stream, have a little fun, and give updates on what's coming next. Very recently, Final Fantasy XVI released on the Xbox Series X and S. It's a nice little surprise for those people. Previously, the game was PS5 exclusive, and we heard at the time it didn't sell to Square Enix's expectations, and that supposedly fueled the fact that Square Enix has said they are going more multi-platform with their titles because they weren't happy with how single system sales were going. So, Final Fantasy 16 on Xbox. So they were talking about that, and they were saying how Final Fantasy 16 it's on PC, it's on PS5, it's on Xbox Series X, it's on Xbox Series S. And that's when the producer said let me get this straight. The producer and Gustavo Almodovar, the producer said to the director, that just leaves Nintendo, because he got done saying where you can find Final Fantasy 16, all the platforms. And the producer said that just leaves Nintendo. And the director was like, he looked at him and he like smiled and he said, I will do my best. I will do my best. Which, again, in secret speak means we're already doing it. We're already doing it, because they're not going to say that stuff and give hope where there is no hope. So this kind of statement has led many people to believe that Final Fantasy 16 will at some point release on Switch 2. I happen to agree with that. I think it will happen, but a port from PS5 to Xbox Series X and S is a little bit easier than it would be to Switch 2. They probably need to do more rejiggering on Switch 2. But I'm of the belief that, yes, it will happen, and these comments certainly lend to that belief for me. Not a definitive statement, not an official announcement, but it certainly is enough to be like, I get what you're doing here, because Square Enix has made statements like this many times in the past before, and this is exactly what happened. They do a statement like this, and then the game gets announced. So I would imagine, yes, it will happen. They've already said, or they've already very strongly hinted that Final Fantasy VII, what's the one after remake?
Rebirth
is going to come to Switch 2. And right now that is a PS5 exclusive. So they're going to make that game work on Switch 2. So Final Fantasy 16 should be pretty much no different. So I would imagine at some point, yes, the port will happen. Marl O says, oh boy, I do not have high hopes for a port of it if it happens. That game runs really, and I mean really badly, even on PS5.
I thought about that too.
I remember it running badly on PS5. I never finished it, but what I played, I put in like 30 hours. I don't remember it running bad, but I'm not like a frame rate nut. I don't know. Oh, I don't know. We'll see. But again, just a rumor for now. We have this more sales. Let's put the Switch 2 sales in perspective in Japan even more. Like we said, 1.1 million sold in Japan, not including whatever Nintendo sold, so it's higher than that, but we're going with the 1.1 million. Let's put that into perspective. Selling 1.1 million in 11 days is good enough for the Switch 2 to have outsold the PS5 digital edition in Japan. So there's a version of the PS5 that only plays games digitally, no disc drive. In 11 days, the Switch 2 has outsold that entire thing.
Holy cow.
Crazy. Even crazier. Well, you know what? This might not be as crazy, depending on how you look at it. In Japan, the Switch 2 in 11 days outsold the combined sales of the Xbox Series X and S in its entire lifetime. Now, I know Xbox isn't big in Japan and has never been. So this just goes to show how big Nintendo is and how small Xbox is in Japan. 11 days to outsell the Xbox S and S combined. That's insane. Xbox S and S combined has sold 679,000 units. God, that's crazy. So yeah, I think the system is a little popular in Japan. Lucius6 says, if you listen closely on A Quiet Dark Night, some say you can still hear fading echoes of the Nintendo-doomed YouTubers. No, they never fade. They never fade. After this third-party story this week, they're stronger than ever. All right. Now,
Melissa.
let's do our releases. If you could find my music, that would be great. I don't remember where it is. Thank you. There we go. North America, what did we get this week? Let me tell you. Raidu Remastered, The Mystery of the Soulless Army. 101 Game Collection. Agartha. Agent 07 Spy Revenge. Agnostico Versus. Arisen Force Life Devotee. Bag Hero. Ballvour. Ballvour, yeah. Bee Flower, Save the Garden.
I got a bee flower.
Blast Rush LS. Bloom Paradise. Cats Visiting Wild West. Cat Terror, The Abandoned House. Chronicles of the Wolf. If you like old school Castlevania, look that up. Collie Farm. Collie Call, Farm of Tomorrow. Cornhole. That's it, Cornhole. Cozy Gardener Simulator and Cozy Grove. The MSX version of Tritorn. Evil Knievel. Evo Calibre. Fantasy of War. Finding America, New England Collector's Edition. Finnegan Fox. Flower Shop, The Complete Story. Football Mini Stars. Fortune's Favor. Gatewalkers. Pope's Farm 2. How to Escape Lost Submarine. Hungry Meme, that's MEEM. Kokoro Clover Sun, Prehistoric Invaders. Korean Drone Flying Tour, Yadal Dock. Nif Nif. Nova Hearts. If you are a supporter of woke people, check out Nova Hearts. That's what I'm doing. And it helps out woke charities too. And I meant that really honestly.
Is that their marketing?
No, but they're very like LGBTQ plus friendly and very upfront about how they're supporting charities with their proceeds and stuff. So that's why I looked into it. Once Upon a Puppet, Parry Nightmare, Pirate Trails, Tentacles and Treasures, Poppy Playtime Chapter 4, Prehistoric Gal, Rail Route, Real Estate Simulator from Bum to Millionaire.
Bum. B-U-M.
Yeah. Rusty Rangers, Sea Fantasy, Shadow Frame, Sleepy Meadow, the original Moorhun Hunt, Through the Nightmares, and then finally Waco the Mask Gatherer. Halas says, Cat Terror, The Abandoned House. This describes what my cat goes through every time I leave for work. Boy, do I feel the same way when me and Mom Brain go out. I feel so bad for Piper. But that's a story for another day.
What
now,
are the next European
I like that you
masterpieces?
feel bad for
Let's
Piper, but
find
like
out
when you're
with Nicky.
here, she like, how often does she leave you guys alone?
she sits with us like all the time. I really mean it. When other people aren't here, she's on or by one of us.
When I'm here, because I'm the pester moon. Thank you, Josh Grobot, for introducing me. It's good to be back. It feels good to be regular. This week,
Very cool.
Europe got some games, digital releases on the eShop for both Switch and Switch 2. The week of the year of our Lord, the week of June 19th, the year of our Lord, the year of our Lord 2025. Let's get through it. It's a long list. Agnostico VS, Amber Alert Director's Cut, Ayala Forgotten Realms, Bag Hero, Balavar, Battle Train, Blast Rush LS, Bloom Paradise, Chronicles of the Wolf, Collie Call, Farm of Tomorrow, Cozy Fields, Date Everything.
I'm a cozy gamer.
Okay, Josh, you might want to check that one out if you have a European Switch or account. Date Everything, the MSX version of Tritorn. Football mini stars, Fortune's Favor, Gatewalkers. Oh, we heard about this one. The Gex Trilogy. Hollow Live, Treasure Mountain Mega Pack. Hollow Parade, the Deluxe Edition. House Renovator Simulator. Hungry Meme, spelled MEEM, so I don't know. Kokoro? Way down in Kokoro? I don't know. Kokoro, Clover Sun, Prehistoric Invaders, Korean Drone Flying Tour, Yadal Dock, Lost in Random, The Eternal Die, Nif Nif, No Sun to Worship, Nova Hearts, Parkour on Rooftops, Pixel Cross Stitch Color by Number, Ride Out Remastered, The Mystery of the Soulless Army, Rooftops and Alleys, the parkour game. Not to be confused with the previously announced and released Parkour on Rooftops. Are you kidding me? We've got 2 games that are parkouring on rooftops.
I think I might go with the rooftops and alleys. It might be more variety.
The developers of Parkour on Rooftops are upset that the game's not selling as well as they thought it would. Sea Fantasy. I don't know. I'm just saying that it was a joke. Throwback to a prior news story. Sea Fantasy, Shadow Frame, Tetra's Escape 2, Through the Nightmares, Tron Catalyst, Without a Voice, Why Village, The Visitors, and Zoo Merge. Nico Darunia left a comment. They say the definition of sweetness.
Nice to have you
Thank
back,
you.
Nicky.
It's nice to be here.
Rooftops and Alleys, you picked the right one. That's the real one. The other one is a ripoff.
Oh man, oh man. What a world to
and
be
I've
a-
heard good things. It looks pretty cool, actually. I was thinking about playing it.
what a
I saw a
time to
thing
be
about the
alive.
developer on TikTok, too. It's a really cool story. But that's
Like,
that.
did they know that there was a rooftop parkour game and then they just like farted one out real quick to try to make steal some of those sales? Like,
I don't know. That
why don't you know?
07 spy game on there this week is also a ripoff. It was on
007?
PlayStation. Yeah, it was on PlayStation first, which is why we posted about it, because the game looks to have ripped assets from and level design straight from GoldenEye on the N64. And people are like, how did this make it on the PlayStation? And now it also got approved for Switch and it came out this week. So I mean, I did side-by-side comparisons. It's very clearly like they took the dam level from GoldenEye and ripped like
You gotta
geometry
love that
from it.
they took the very first level too.
Yeah, right. Not going any further
Well, the
than
rest
that.
are going to come in DLC, right?
That's right.
Also, it's just 07. Like they didn't
Yeah.
even try, throw in a
People
different
got
number.
the
or
idea.
something.
Nicky
It could
Hill,
have been
what,
like 770 or you know what I mean? Instead of what have I been playing?
yeah.
What have I been playing? I played and completed Shantae and the Seven Sirens.
Oh, I knew this.
You did. You told everybody last week.
No, did I?
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
I thought in my head I meant not to talk about it.
Crazy. I love numbers. I love the way numbers. Waiting for the big book of numbers.
The big book of British numbers.
The book of tall numbers. I can't find it. Oh, the playtime was 12 hours and 34 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm so upset that it didn't take me 56 seconds. It was 20 seconds. But
Have to try again.
It would have been awesome if it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And wait like 36 extra
Ooh.
seconds.
Yep. He's right. He is exactly right. You
You're
could make
right.
it happen.
But then I have to like beat it at exactly the right time.
Yeah.
Just beat it in the same amount of time and then.
I don't even know how I played the game. I don't even remember the last
Oh,
fight.
okay.
What's the last fight?
I'm going to guess it's against Risky Boots.
Probably. And
But I've seen
then
everything.
What's at the end of that Mario game? Who you fight there?
and then
Dug deeper.
I played and completed The Mummy Demastered.
Whoa.
Finished that last night
Wow.
at 1 o'clock in the morning. I played for like 7 hours yesterday.
Man.
Getting that way forward Metroidvania feel.
Yeah, when I was playing the Mummy, I felt like the controls just didn't gel with me entirely. Like I feel like the roll or like dash or whatever should have been a different button, something. I felt like I was fumbling a little bit, but I got through
button
it
remapping.
on the Switch, not on the game, right? Is that I have to do it through the Switch?
Mhm.
Maybe that's I don't know how to do that stuff.
And on
I
Switch
ain't no
2,
coder.
Switch 2, it's per game.
Yeah.
You could save a different scheme for each game.
But I enjoyed it, and it made me really want Way Forward to do a Stranger Things game, just because the music and like the vibe in a lot of those levels.
The music was awesome.
And so like
yeah.
the way that the levels were structured, or like the zones were structured, made me feel like Hawkins, and then the upside down.
Yeah,
like
they could do
they
something.
would do. I think they would just do a really great job with that.
The Stranger Things games were made by Bonus XP,
But
and
they were
are
also-
they are very good.
But they were not Metroidvania style.
No, they're like top down. Like
Yeah.
I would say like Zombies Ate My Neighbors with like a little bit of Zelda in it. They're good,
But I mean, yeah, Way Forward, Metroidvania, they're killing it.
That noise when he was
Also-
coming used to scare the crap out of me.
It's funny that how like relatively close the game is to the movie. Like the main guy's head comes up when he's talking to you, giving you like mission objectives, and it's not Russell Crowe, but it's almost Russell Crowe.
Hustle Row.
Could be.
Castle Row. And like some of the environments and stuff like that, it's like, yeah, you can see how it's connected. Then
Russ Raven.
all the bosses are
Another bird.
completely made up. But playing the game made me wish that the movie was
Good.
much better.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so I did that.
That's very cool.
And then I played a little Tetris Effect. And I played a little Clubhouse games. I played it on the Switch 2 to see how it looked. And I can't tell you.
We should get
that
that
it looks any
game
better.
chat stuff going on. I want to do that. We could be playing some Ludo or
Remember,
other things. Yeah.
remember when the Clubhouse games first came out during COVID or whatever, and we were playing across the internet,
Yeah, we should do it.
talking to each other.
With game chat, it's a free update. Why not? I'm down.
And then I went back into the Mummy today on the Switch too, because there were some points when like there was a lot going on and the game was really laggy on the Switch, and I think the Switch 2's power took care of it. I don't know. Also,
Now remember that can happen just by the horsepower of the system making a better experience, but there are instances where it might not be the case just because it was designed
It also-
specifically for Switch 1 architecture.
It also might just
so
be in my
don't
head.
not every game you play from Switch 1 is going to play better. The vast majority will, but
it could just be in my head too. I don't know. But I was playing that on the flight, and the map was so small, and I wish you could zoom in on the map, and you can't, which is why I wish I could, because you could. And put it on my TV. Although it's all the way across the room, everything looked crisper, looked nicer. I could see the map better. I still wish you could zoom in, but that's it. That's all I'm going to say. You guys have talked about this game at length. What have you
That's
been
cool
playing?
that you played that.
I only played it because of you. You were talking about it. I mean, this guy's talked about it, and I never bought it. And then you
I
talked
understand
about
my
it,
lot in life.
and I played it. And then, this guy talked about Seven Sirens, which I don't remember now. I don't know if I just bought.
Well, we
that
were talking about
or if I
the
had it
most
or-
Metroidvania-esque one of them, and Seven Sirens, I would say, is not the most Metroidvania-esque, so that would not be a recommendation.
Which of the two games, I mean, obviously they're different games, but which would you say you had more enjoyment playing?
The way my brain works, it's the most recent one that I've played. Like I played that, and now I don't really remember Seven Sirens as much. It's a curse of mine.
It's because you didn't play Seven Sirens.
I did.
You did play Seven Sirens.
I thought that was the one you played.
That was
Seven
the first
Sirens.
play. That was the
Oh.
first one I played,
Oh.
and then I played the Mummy.
I thought we were saying you didn't play Seven Sirens because that's the least Metroidvania-esque.
No, I played it because I played other
Shantae.
Shantaes, and which she says Shantae. She puts the accent there.
Emphasis on the A.
But boy, oh boy, Shantae.
Shantae.
They should make a series or something.
I like how you asked him what he played.
Sorry, I know. But you just reminded me, like, the animation in that game is great, but also
the in-game animation.
The in-game, but also like the cutscenes and stuff that they do. What?
The stills on the cutscenes or the actual animated?
No,
cutscenes?
the animated cutscenes.
I might be wrong. I'm not sure if
the
it's that
same
game or
people
not.
that did
Studio Trigger, one of my favorite anime studios, did the animations. I want to say for that one.
It made me feel.
I love
it.
their
Made me feel the
style.
same way that Professor Layton made me feel. Because like you're in a game where there's not a whole lot of like full animated or full motion cutscenes or whatever, and then you get into like these cutscenes where you're like, man, and it looks so good.
That intro,
and you're like, man, I just wish there was a Professor Layton cartoon because I would watch that. It's the same thing with Shantae.
There was a Professor Layton animated movie.
Oh,
I own it.
I never watched it.
It's back here somewhere.
But the cutscenes in that, and really all it is like when she enters a room for a boss fight, and that's it. Like maybe the intro and stuff like that. So good. Continue. What you're gonna say.
Yeah, well, I looked it up. It's Studio Trigger, which it's like one of my top 3 favorite anime studios. I absolutely love them. It's the one that's got the like intro video where it's like the song. It's like a Saturday morning cartoon intro where the ladies Christina V is singing the song of Shantae and everything. I love it. I love that. That intro gives me goosebumps every single time. And the end of the song, that song is an all new song, and it ends with the Shantae jingle at the end. Oh, I love it. And I love it. I've watched it so many times. With my pants off.
I don't know what I was gonna say. It's sorry. Like, the characters that are there would lend very well to like, weekly shenanigans or whatever.
Yes, I agree.
They all play off each other really well, like the relationships and like their chemistry.
Could you imagine what Shantae, Bolo, and Roddy Tops would get up to each week? Oh my god!
But here's my problem.
You hate zombies.
I can't talk about this.
I bet you can.
I bet I can't.
Okay.
They're all too sexy. And they're cartoons.
Is that why you can't talk about it?
Yes. Roddy Tops is a zombie. She shouldn't be
more like Hottie Tops, am I right?
Lock the door.
Raunchy Tops. No, it's not real. But no, they like I don't know who their demographic is with this because they're just, it's all out there.
WayForward absolutely loves cute characters. Like that's their thing.
But like all of the other half genies in the game and everything, like the clothes that everything's so revealing. I mean, it's a video game, so I guess I shouldn't be.
Guess what? They're designed by
what's the name of this game again?
Yeah.
Any Shantae game.
Yeah, all right.
Genie. Scantily clad,
just want to know what to Google.
Genies, and there's always bathhouses to go heal in and dancing, and yeah,
it's funny. We've talked.
I mean, like
this.
you can see WayForward's not like every WayForward character design is cutesy and has the same style, but in WayForward's own games they usually go flirty, sexy. But like you could look at like,
what is that fan service, I guess.
There's a modest element of fan service to Shantae.
So like Shantae has,
but it's been there from the beginning. It's not like the characters got popular and then they're like, let's show their boobs. It's just always been like in the DNA of the franchise. DNA.
Shantae has she's
got like these boobs and she's got like this.
No,
this butt.
her outfit is very stereotypical of like
Genie.
What Genie
like
outfit.
I Dream of Genie. It's like the same outfit.
But then like some of the other half genies in the game, like one of them has like a cut off t-shirt that barely covers anything, and you're just like, what are they doing here? Like I can't promote this as a cartoon for like a children's show or something, but
they can put them in other clothing.
Can they?
And why can't you promote it? Bugs Bunny is naked. And
So's
he dresses
Donkey
like a
Kong.
sexy woman.
Donkey Kong
sometimes.
only wears a freaking
Right?
necktie.
Sonic's naked.
Oh, and then I think I don't know if it's really like meant if it was intended, but with the mummy, the
Very sexy.
little there's like musical flourishes or whatever when like you pick up health.
Mm-hmm.
It made me think of I don't know what the actual song is, but I always relate it to like monsters or like Dracula or something, or
Count
whatever,
Dracula.
like the organ, like like anytime you pick up health, it would go like doo doo, and it's just like the same kind of note
I
progression.
didn't notice that. I'm gonna have to go back.
But I am done. I promise. What have you been playing?
Uku.
Oh, and also, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Kidding.
Played some Animal Crossing New Horizons. Still looking for that vampire squid after hours.
How many more months do you have? Or weeks?
I think it's a couple more months still. But I'm starting to like question what the heck's going on.
Question your say.
But yeah, so there's that. Fortnite has a new mode out. Or well, new to me. I haven't played in a while,
You're right.
so
It's new.
it's new. And it's very cool, very fun. I'd have to say, for me personally, maybe it's timing because the Switch 2 is out, or maybe it's because I don't know, something's with me, but it's not my favorite season, and it's maybe for me one of my least favorite seasons in a while. But it's always fun to play with the boys, and there's still a lot of cool stuff about it. So yeah. But I mean, who we can switch to? It's what I've been playing. Mario Kart World. I'm a gigantic Mario Kart fan. I know I'm not unique by saying that, but just been playing it forever. You know, like every version of Mario Kart we've played our entire lives, and it's been incredible to have a new Mario Kart after all these years.
It's been a long time.
At launch, and they, you know, as usual, you think they can't top something, and like I would have said, Mario Kart 8, like what's to top? Like it's perfect. Let's just keep having DLCs with new tracks. Why change anything? And they didn't try to change any. Like that's what's interesting about this is like there is plenty that's different and new and unique about Mario Kart World, but they didn't try to reinvent the wheel. They kept doing what they're already great at and adding onto it, building onto it. And I was saying to you the other day, RMC, that Nintendo just rewards and rewards and rewards their fans. Like, and the longer you're a fan of Nintendo, the more rewarded you get. And I guess that's just like fanboy stuff because you recognize the stuff. But at the same time, I think they're leaning into it, especially with this game. The music alone.
Oh, this is as far as this Mario Kart goes, this is very much a celebration of.
It's a celebration. Yeah. It feels amazing.
In terms of soundtrack.
The soundtrack is so good. Every song, if you've ever played a Mario game throughout the years, there's like songs that are just like
they've pulled songs from games
and,
I would have never expected.
Yeah, like, and it's also unique and exciting, and I love the big band aspect to it, and
that the jazz fusion remix of the Underground theme from the original Mario Brothers. Unbelievable. They obviously had one guy in there and they're like, go nuts when it's your turn to play. You just go, because he like freestyle. Oh, it's so good. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, I would love to know more about the process behind the music, like what they decided, why they decided to go this route. I mean, it's kind of similar to Mario Kart 8. There was like a lot of that jazzy, fusiony stuff in there.
I just think that they're in that era right now. That's their vibe. They really like that for Mario Kart, but they like that sound in general too. And I think with Mario Kart World, they were like, well, we're going to have the free roam mode. And when people drive in the car, they listen to the radio. So what songs can we give them? And they were like, let's give them every song.
Yeah, it's So good. I can't wait till. I mean, it's got to come to that Nintendo
Nintendo
Music
Music.
app. I
I'm
hope
sure it
so.
will at some
I
point.
will. I will definitely listen.
Yeah.
Because it's
You
great.
can listen at no additional cost.
I went through. I was obsessed with getting all the characters' outfits. I finally did all that. There's a couple of little characters that I've yet to unlock because you have to do it through the, like the planets have to align basically to get all the unlocks for the characters. But I don't mind that. I mean, it's not like I'm not gonna be playing the game. I'm still gonna be playing the crap out of it. So now that I've unlocked all that stuff, I can feel, comfortable being whichever character I want to be. And I've been really into lately being the fisherman Lakitu, and then putting him on that like koi bike.
Yeah.
And when I'm not him, I'm the dolphin riding the dolphin bike, and that's really great too. But
William says it took them 34 hours to unlock all the characters and outfits.
yeah, I mean the outfits, once you get, once you find like the spots to go, the outfits aren't that difficult to unlock. But yeah, the characters is what's frustrating, because you got to get a special question mark block at a very specific point in a race, and then use it, and then it will unlock, and that still has yet to happen for me. But I'm not kicking myself over that. Like I said, I've got Fisherman Lakitu, and I've got Aristocrat Yoshi. I'll be okay. But yeah, lots of fun. I've been doing some of the open world as well. I'm concentrating mostly on the races and the Grand Prix and the rally, which is excellent. But I'm doing a lot of the open world stuff, and that's where you get like the music, and that's where you can kind of just, if you want to, it's very therapeutic. You just kind of like ride around and like listen to the tunes, and when you see a P switch, you hit it, or if you see a coin or a peach coin or something, it's usually in a spot, like sometimes it's in a spot like I never would have thought to go up there. Like, let me try, like, how would I get up there? And then you mess around. And what I love about the game is that it's added in the rail riding and the wall riding, and it's a challenge. It's like one of those things where it's like difficult to master. It's easy to do, but difficult to master, I guess. And it's not that it's even easy to do. It's just like, I guess what I'm trying to say is you don't need to be proficient at that to succeed in the races against the computer.
They're just options.
And I can see playing online with real people how like getting your skill level up on rails and walls is going to be, that's how you're going to do it.
People are insane.
But like, yeah, what I love about it is it's there. It can be done, and it's like once you practice it enough, like you can get pretty good at it. It's not like it's impossible, but it's not even close to a necessity for winning. And I really appreciated that, because when I first started out, I was like, this is kind of difficult for me, at least for me, to pull off without a lot of practice. And I realized I wasn't doing that. I was kind of playing the way I've always played, but I was still doing well for the most part. So it's, for me, it's got all the bases covered. I understand why they chose the characters that they did. I'm not upset at all with any of the enemy characters that you can be. I think that's great. I know why they did what they did. It's all Mario games, and it's like seems to be Mario related games. So you're not going to have like your Diddy Kong in there again. He got boned yet again.
There's a big conversation that they're going to add. People think they're going to add Diddy and Donkey Kong stuff when Bonanza comes out.
Yeah, I was reading that too. I mean, that would be cool if they did that kind of stuff. I don't know why you'd hold off on poor Diddy. He's been screwed. Like, I feel like Diddy's been getting the short end of the banana these past couple of games. But
which Diddy is he talking about?
Oh, is that why? See,
No,
I'm still, for some reason, I'm an innocent who thinks of Diddy Kong.
Nintendo's not doing Diddy stuff because of that situation. That has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, that's funny. I not even thinking, and my mind is the first to make like a silly joke like that, and for some reason I guess I'm not thinking of the P Diddy.
Right, William? That's the question. Get him and Wart.
Yeah.
Not Diddy. Tatanga from Mario Land. He deserves another shot. He's been screwed over even more than Wart has.
Who is Tatanga?
The alien guy you fight in Mario Land.
Mm. Yeah, I never. We know I wasn't a big Mario Land
You
guy.
still haven't played Mario Land.
I've played it. I've just
Oh.
never beaten it, and I didn't know that there was an alien.
I just
Yeah, you
beat-
fight
beat it
you
recently.
you
I
fly
must
in a
have known
spaceship at
that.
the end of the game and fight a guy in a spaceship. You fight Tatanga.
Makes sense.
I thought of that in two ways. When you said it, I thought of it in I'm a Nintendo fan and no reaction because it made sense. And then I was like, he's right. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I must have known that fact at some point throughout the years, but because Super Mario Land was never in my library, I don't know. Don't have a lot of memory of it, except just it feeling extra small. Not just because it was on a Game Boy, but like the blocks themselves, I thought were kind of small. But as far as Mario Kart World, I've just been absolutely loving it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's to say about it. Like I'm still working my way through getting like the gold or first place on everything. But I've got first place on most things, and it seems to be a little more lenient, at least versus Mario Kart 8 in how you unlock everything.
Yeah.
You don't really have to be first place in everything to unlock like the mirror mode and stuff like that. So I'm just absolutely digging it. I don't know what I'd want to see in it. Like there's no improvements that I can think of, because I just really
Crash
love
mode.
I really love the whole shebang. I've
Have you
been
played
really
online?
digging it. I'm sorry, I
you
haven't played online
He's
yet.
not an online player, really.
Yeah,
With friends, I'm sure you would, but no, we
I don't
haven't.
know if you guys
He
have played
was
yet.
he had a house guest.
Yeah, I haven't played online. I'm not a huge like competition guy, and when it comes to like Mario Kart, I can get pretty competitive. That's like one of the only times I get competitive is in Mario Kart. But yeah, my brother was a big Double Dash fan, and he claims to have played like a ton of Mario Kart 64. So I showed him. I played a little bit with him watching,
Sure, he had
which was
nothing but
cool.
good things to say about it.
He was actually enjoying himself. He wouldn't play himself.
Too much moving.
Yeah, he's kind of like he's like, you're never too old for video games, but he's too old. I don't know what. Yeah, but he was watching graciously, and I think he really enjoyed it, and he recognized a lot of the music too. But yeah, I don't know. I got nothing else to say about it. I'm loving it, and it's fun
love
to have like a first party Nintendo game on a new Nintendo platform, and it's just been really wonderful. So far, loving the Switch 2, and I brought my Switch 2 over here today to try out the new Game Pass system.
Virtual game card
system, and hopefully next week I'll have some other game to talk about. But thanks for listening, and RMC, what have you been playing?
Thank you for asking. Ooh, this is spicy. They're like knockoff brands, so it's not what I was expecting.
It's in here for like weeks. You
They're
never had
mom
it?
brains. They're mom brains. When the cat's away.
Oh.
Thank you for asking, Deux. I should not have done this right now. I played Mario Kart World. I'm just doing the same things I've been doing. I echo all the same sentiments that Deux has. I got nothing new to offer there.
Oh, the Rainbow Road is
It's insane.
so beautiful.
Unbelievable.
It's
Best Rainbow Road
beautiful.
by
do
a
you
country
race-
mile.
Do you race on the Witches Road?
Haven't seen that in there yet, no. And the song's not there either. So I played more Mario Kart
You race
World.
at Boo Cinema.
You do race at Boo Cinema. It's true. Cinema, yeah.
Yeah.
And it takes you inside the movie.
Oh, what?
Yeah, you go inside the movie. You're like, you go into the movie theater screen, and you see like
okay, no more. Don't talking about it no more.
you see like Jason, and he kills people. So I played that. I said last week, I believe, that I finished Switch 2 Welcome Tour, and I really enjoy that. And I'll be virtually game carding it to Do. So I hope he gets something out of it. But even if he doesn't like it, it doesn't matter because he didn't pay anything for it.
Well, I'm excited to play around with the controllers and see what the Joy-Cons can do, because I have a feeling that this is going to show me what the
there's multiple
Joy-Cons
things
can
in there.
do.
Yeah, there is a game in there
A game.
where it says measure. This isn't Joy-Con related, but it says measure the angle, and you have to play it in handheld mode. And because of the accelerometer and the gyroscope in the actual system, the screen shows you an angle, and it'll say like 65 degrees, and you take the Switch 2 and you move the kickstand to where you think the screen is 65 degrees, and then it locks in, you hit the button, and then it measures it, and it's like, oh, you were 3 degrees off, or oh, you were 10 degrees off, and you play like a little game, 3 rounds of that, and I was like, this is such a cool idea. It's all little stuff like that.
I felt like the kickstand is like really stiff, which I like,
Mhm.
but I don't really want to move it around just to find a certain percent or certain.
Well, you know,
degree.
I would trust Nintendo. I think they know the system pretty well, so they've imagined this
Yeah,
scenario.
they
where
also
it's
put
okay.
out the original Switch with that flimsy little kickstand, and we all thought that was great too, right?
Well, did they have a game where you had to adjust that kickstand? No.
Did you hear me? I said,
I didn't hear that, but now that I heard it, I still make the same statement.
all right, yeah.
But anyway.
Nintendo, they're perfect. They never do anything wrong, dude.
I spent the bulk of I played Fortnite as well. We don't need to talk about that. Although we did play the Blitz Royale mode, the brand new mode.
Oh yeah, I
and
forgot to talk about
that. Was very quick, and it's like regular Fortnite except like hyper. Everything's quick, and you get special abilities, and it's games are like 5 minutes at most, and it's just insanity.
I liked it, and I liked it. I liked it. It's just that you don't, I like that the games go fast, but you could either just die quick or live quick to the end, which, I mean, obviously sounds stupid to say, because obviously when you play any game, you're going to either win or lose. But
That's the
there's
game.
something about these 5-minute games where it's like either you're out right away or you make it. And I don't know, there was something that I was like, there was something very addictive about it.
Yeah,
like as
that's
soon
what
as
they
it
want.
was, over, it was like, well, we can do one
One
more.
more.
I mean, it was
It's
only,
only going to take a couple of minutes.
yeah, it was only a couple of minutes. So I don't know. I think overall I liked it. I just wasn't prepared for what the heck it was going to be.
The only thing we can't really do is what we do in regular Fortnite, which is time to dance and time to talk to each other about not Fortnite stuff. So
Right.
Those are the two downsides.
Maybe that's what was killing me, because there's a lot of like you have to pay a little bit more attention beyond.
There's no
beyond the
downtime.
ball.
Like you can't really take a break. Like when we're playing Fortnite, we're taking a break a lot of the time because we're just driving around or having fun.
Yeah.
And then there's times where it gets intense and times where it isn't. But Blitz Royale, you're on. Like you got to be on.
and it loads up too fast. You can't even dance on the lobby island. Like that was kind of frustrating.
Game loads too fast.
That was pretty frustrating.
So anyway, the other thing I played and where I spent the bulk of my time is Deltarune, and I said I was going to talk about that when Du mentioned it earlier.
D-Rune.
And this was another one of my rants, but I mean a rant in a rave kind of way. You guys have heard me rant and rave about Deltarune and Undertale for years now. Deltarune longer because it comes out in chapters, and we have to wait a long time. Chapter 2 came out in 2021. Chapter 1 came out, I want to say, in 2018, maybe 2019, so we've been waiting. Chapter 3 and 4 came out at Switch 2 launch on June 5th. Or June 6th, whatever day it was. That's funny. Looked forward to it for so long, and now don't remember the day. And Toby Fox is one of the very... Toby Fox is the only indie developer who was granted access to the Switch 2 to ensure that the new Deltarune chapters were there at launch. That Nintendo very clearly respects, admires, and appreciates Toby Fox's work because they did special things with Undertale. Fox has composed for the Pokemon franchise. Fox has done something else with Nintendo. It's escaping me at the moment, but they have a very deep respect, understanding, and appreciation for Toby Fox. So to let him be literally the only indie developer at Switch 2 launch to have something at launch speaks volumes for what Nintendo says about Toby Fox. But with Deltarune, I absolutely adore, and adore isn't the right word. I am flabbergasted by what Toby Fox manages to do within the framework of a video game and how he looks at and thinks about video games and what he presents. Before chapters 3 and 4 came out, I could not understand his attention to detail and appreciation for everything that makes a game and everything that can make a game and the history of games, as well as new ideas for games. He's just, in my opinion, he is easily one of the finest game developers that has ever lived, and by a very long distance, like by a very wide margin. He's like, you have like Shigeru Miyamoto. Argument to be had for him to be the best game developer ever. We live in the industry that we have now because of his efforts. And it's not just because he was first. It's because he revived the industry and did something special and made Nintendo what it is. And Nintendo is still that way to this day, with or without his input, because he's fostered that environment. So Miyamoto deserves to be up there. Hideo Kojima is another one. His games may not be for everybody, but he's got a mind for very unique experiences and stories and games, and he's got a way of thinking about games that other people just don't and maybe can't. I put Toby Fox right up there, and I could easily make an argument for him being the best above the other two. But the other two have done things that have moved the industry forward, while Fox hasn't, because the industry wasn't in the place at those times. Miyamoto, video games were pretty much dead. People thought Nintendo was crazy for doing what they did, and they rejuvenated the video game industry. Hideo Kojima was there in those days, but with Metal Gear Solid, he gave birth to the 3D era, pretty much, of outside of platformers or anything. He saw games in ways that hadn't been seen at that point. And you can go back and look at Kojima and be like, this is what he was thinking when he was making the games on the NES. This is what he wanted to do. We got to do it on the PlayStation 1. Radical Defect, that's a good point. Says Undertale rejuvenated the indie scene. That's a very good point. Very hugely influential on many developers. Undertale and Deltarune, undeniably influential, without a doubt. Hands down. Multiple developers from AAA all the way down to indies. Greatly influenced by what he's done. So anyway, chapters 3 and 4 are out now. I'm very slowly making my way through them because I have so looked forward to these chapters. I don't want to rush. I rushed through 2 and was over and done the same night I played it. And I was like, what have I done? And then I had to wait 4 more years. So I'm in chapter 4. I've completed chapter 3. I fear I'm getting close to the end of chapter 4. But the amount of ingenuity and innovation in gameplay mechanics and design in chapters 3 and 4, I don't know that I've ever seen anything like it. The way Toby Fox takes what you consider to be established norms in games and established norms for his games, and it completely throws you for a loop, is staggering on a level I cannot understand. I do not get how one person can be this innovative. I really don't understand it. And both of these chapters, time and time again, have done things where I'm like, how do you even think to do this in your own game? I know it's your game and you can do whatever you want, but you set established norms and gameplay ideas and rules and goals and missions and ideas for the story, and then you just come in and you break everything and you do things in ways that I don't understand how you think of it.
Can you give an example without spoiling anything?
I can try, yes. So chapter 3 in general. So you played Undertale and you played the first chapter of Deltarune?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just stick with Deltarune. You understand Undertale and Deltarune share a similar battle mechanic where you make a menu choice for your attack, or you choose to spare if you want, and then the enemy attacks you and it turns into a box, and you're controlling a little heart and you move the heart around to dodge attacks. Pretty much how it goes. That's how the battle system is in both the games. It's still here in Deltarune. Chapter 3 still has that, without a doubt. But a very large portion of Chapter 3 is pretty much a completely different game. And it very, 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 very much pays homage to classic gaming, and in specific, The Legend of Zelda. Very, very specifically, The Legend of Zelda. But he does it in a Toby Fox way, so that it's not straightforward. The way it's thought about and the way it's pieced together, I don't know. I'm not overselling it. I do not know how you think of it. I can't even. He's got to have a binder somewhere that's full of the scribblings of a madman to piece all this stuff together. I can't understand how you make it work. And I can't understand how you want to do it. And then you put all these things together and you're like, I got to make sure this works here and this works here and these things work here and this ties back. Like, I don't know how you do it. I don't know. I can't figure it out. And within those confines, so much is explored and exploited and turned on its head. And my cousin messaged me about it separately, and we were having a conversation. Want to see if he says something. Yeah, he says he's talking about Chapter 3 is one of his favorite video game experiences he's ever had. And there's just way where I could say this. There's ways in which NPCs interact and engage with you as a player and with you as your character in the game that are, I've never seen it. I've never ever seen it. And if this sounds so stupid, but the best way I can put it is it feels like you're legitimately playing with other people. Like they act like other people. They talk like other people, like real people. I mean, they do and act. I don't understand it. And he said the same thing to me. He was like, how is this working? How does this? Oh, I just don't get it. And there's so much in just that tiny portion. It's not a tiny portion. It's like the main focus of the chapter, but like that mechanic where I'm like, how do you do it? And here's the other thing. Something can be innovative and new and different, but not fun to play. This is ridiculously fun to play too. It's not just like, let's make a new mechanic. It's like, let's do this. And it's actually engaging and interesting. And you know me, I never want to go back and play anything. As soon as I'm done with Chapter 4, I'm going to go back to Chapter 3 because I've been thinking like I could have done this here. And if I did that here, then maybe this thing would. And like, there's so many things I want to try. I could go watch a YouTube video and watch them all, but I actually want to go in and do it because I'm just blown away. I'm blown away. And then in the 4th chapter, you have the same battle mechanics. It's a more straightforward. It feels more like chapters 1 and 2 in terms of what you're doing. But there is one boss fight that completely turns everything on its head. And I literally laughed out loud, not because it was funny, but like a laugh of disbelief, being like, I can't believe this is going on right now. And I sent something about that to my cousin, and he was like, how crazy? I was like, it's nuts. I don't know.
Raw Meat said,
I don't know.
Did it.
And
The son of a bitch did.
And then within that game, things change, and you're like, look at this. How did he even think to do this? And then as that game continues, things change in that thing that's already changed. And you're like, what's going on? Like crazy stuff.
Sounds like a young man's game to me.
It's so well. That's the thing. All the things that happen are still mechanics that you can wrap your head around as someone who's played games when we were kids. Like, but the way they're used and the way they're employed and the way that I don't know. It's never, ever, ever have I played a game where I've been so shocked so many times and so like just left jaw dropped and then like so in awe of how it's made. And how much has to go into it, and the fact that one person is steering it. Like, people go insane figuring out, like, when I do this, what does it change in the game? And they'll go back to every single thing they can think of to be like, does this person say something different? Does this door open? Does this thing move? Can I eat this for health now? And he goes in and does all of that. Like, there's one section in the game where it's like, a piano, and you can press directions to play notes, and there's puzzles that you have to solve to do this. And people are like, well, what if I played other songs that are in this game? and characters have dialogue for all of them. If you just randomly play them, they don't do anything. And people are like, well, what if I play a song from Undertale? And he's got stuff in there for that. And it's like, well, what if I play this song from a ROM hack of Earthbound that he did before he started developing games? And he's got something in there for that. You're like, how do you make like, how do these games ever get made? How do they get finished? You have like, you've thought of everything everyone's going to do ever and put in something for it. It could be a big revelation or a little Easter egg, but he's thought of them and the games come out. I don't understand how you do it. It's something that would take decades, it
Probably
seems like.
AI.
Well,
AI, that's it.
I mean, the game's still coming out, right?
Well, yeah, but each chapter, but that's the thing. Each chapter plays into the chapters before it. So when chapter 4 comes out, things change in relation to 1, 2, and 3. So every time you make a game, it's like, okay, I'm making chapter 4, which really means I'm making chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4 again.
Wait, what?
Every new chapter impacts the previous chapters.
Impacts the previous chapters. Okay.
Yeah, because the game is supposed to be played as a whole. So if you play Delta and say it's 8 chapters and you play chapters 1 through 8 all at the same time, as he's making chapters 4 and 5, he's going back into 1, 2, and 3, and there's dialogue in there for what you've done in 4 and 5. What do you? I don't understand. So, and on top of all that, it's just incredibly fun. The story is funny and sentimental and like heroic and like filled with hope. And there was like a little nothing moment in one of the scenes where one of the characters has like maybe a 4 or 5 line interaction with with the main character and like does something for them. And like I stopped and like it made me tear up, and it was just such a beautiful moment. That was like a little throwaway scene that people may never see, and I was like, man, it's just so good. So
sounds woke to me.
I'm dreading it coming to an end because I've loved all the chapters so far, but these two together, you can see why they were released together, because they are knock your socks off. It's unbelievable. And when it's over, I'm going to be really, really sad. But I know chapter 5 is scheduled for 2026. I hope it's early 2026. It will probably be late 2026. But
any idea how long it's going to be?
How long the next chapter will be?
No, how many chapters he plans on?
I don't think so. I don't think he said. But like I've said, chapters 1 and 2 came out for free because he's like, I don't know how long this is going to take me. Chapters 3 and 4 came out together and they're paid, but what you pay now, you'll never have to pay again. So it's $25 for the game, and however many chapters come out after, you don't pay anything. So you'll never pay more than $25. So it could be 4 more chapters or 10 more chapters.
Do you see it as one game?
So far, yeah. I mean, like,
so he's only made 2 games, this guy.
Yeah. He's done stuff for other games, but his own games, he's got Undertale and he's got Deltarune, which who knows how many chapters are. But yeah, the chapters flow right from one into the other, and you're saved that it carries over unless you don't want them to. You don't have to do that if you don't want to, but and this one doesn't mess with your mind like Undertale does, right? At least I mean, it does in some ways, but
way.
not to that degree. At least now, who knows by the end of the game. But if you're worried about like spare versus fight or any of that stuff and characters remembering and all that stuff, characters will remember what you do, but Toby Fox makes it very clear, don't feel bad if you don't want to spare people. He's like, you can go through and play this regularly.
Yeah.
But I'm sparing people because I like those interactions more, because sparing is like a puzzle. Like you have to figure out what to do and when to do it and how, and I like that better in battle than just attacking. But in this game, there are people it'll make it very clear. It's like you have to do an attack. There's just few and far between, but it does happen. But other than that, yes, like it's made very clear you don't have to worry about that stuff. But as far as messing with your mind, the game certainly messes with your mind in other ways. And like I say the game knows, but it's not. Toby Fox knows, like when you're trying to do something to like peek under the hood to see what's going on and like stymies you. Like there's a part in chapter 3 where you're supposed to put in your name and you get 3 letters. And what does every little kid do? What did every little kid do when we were kids? You try and make a curse word, of course. So of course there's reactions for every curse word. And he's gone so far as that, like, say you want to put in the F word. So you do FU, but when you get to the next set of letters, he's removed the C and the K from options, so you can't put that in. But you can put in like a parentheses or something, and then it blocks that. Then you can hack the game to put in the letter C or the letter K, and he prepared for that. Because if you hack the game and you put those letters in, you get a completely different reaction that you only get to see when you hack the game to do that. So he's thought of everything. The man's thought of everything. And again, like I said, some of it is little Easter egg stuff just for fun, and other stuff really applies to the story. So I watched somebody do some secrets for the third chapter, and I stopped because I was like, I'm an idiot. I shouldn't have thought it. I was like, I was really thorough with chapter 3. I got everything, and I watched like 5 minutes, and I was like, what's this? Where did I get to this? And I was like, I gotta stop. I missed so much. But for somebody who doesn't replay games, these are like perfect, because I want to replay them because there's so much you miss. It's impossible to go through the first time and see everything. So I could talk about it forever, but chapter 3 and chapter 4, sadly, next week it'll be coming to an end for me. But boy, am I enjoying it!
And this is on other systems too, right?
It's on everything.
It just happened to be launched on the same day as the Switch, or vice versa.
They launched this. It's very clear. Nintendo was like, "We want this at Switch 2 launch. Can you hold out?" And he was like, I'm sure, yes. Why would you not? Nintendo's such a big part of his life. But yes, it was very clear at some point, and probably years ago, Nintendo was like, what's going on with Deltarune? We would like to launch align something with you. And that could potentially be why we got chapters 3 and 4 at the same time, because 3 might have been able to come out sooner.
Interesting.
But yeah, again, like I said, like I started this conversation, for Nintendo to go to that indie developer and be like, we want your game at our new system launch. Nintendo of all companies, it's the highest of high honors. Like, how you can't get any higher than that to be an indie company when big name AAA third party publishers can't get a dev kit for the Switch 2, and they're still waiting for them to go to Toby Fox and be like, hey, we want you day one. I mean, I love Nintendo and I love Toby Fox, and clearly Nintendo feels the same way I feel about Toby Fox. So I will follow that man to the ends of the earth. Whatever he creates, I will be there day one. I don't think, even with Nintendo, I don't think there's another developer I personally enjoy as much as I do Toby Fox. So that's Undertale. I'm enjoying it a little bit. All right, questions.
He doesn't even know what he's playing.
What did I say? Undertale? Deltarune. We got questions. Send your questions to goninpod@gmail.com.
Where?
goninpod@gmail.com.
Maybe I will.
You can ask about Nintendo video games in general, or whatever the hell you. Question comes from Sergio ALB64. Hi crew. I heard you needed questions, so here's one. If you ask me what is the food combination or mixture that I dislike the most, I would immediately tell you mint chocolate. Dislike is putting it lightly, but I don't want to mock anyone else that likes that combo. It's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. My question to you is, what is your most despised food combination? Perhaps pineapple on pizza, or chicken and waffles, or bacon maple donuts? If I could travel back in time to prevent one atrocity, it would be the invention of mint chocolate. Stay awesome. I like mint chocolate.
Yeah, me too. I like
I got
all of
nothing
those
wrong with
things.
it.
I think I'll eat anything.
I've never had pineapple on pizza, but I would try it.
You didn't have it?
I'm not a huge
No.
fan of that.
Because it's usually pineapple on ham when people will get it, and I don't like ham.
But even the one that was the Stranger Things one, you didn't try? No,
Senator, I did not ever have pineapple pizza. No, because it was that just pineapple? Wasn't it ham too?
I don't know if it was ham. It was meat. of
Yeah.
some sort.
So I have not ever had it, but I would try it.
But I
can't-
also had jalapeno, I think, too.
I'm down with jalapeno.
Jalapeno.
I can't think of a combo off the top of my head that I would be like, no, definitely not.
anything with fruit, probably for you, right?
I used to be like that, especially when it came to cookies and cakes, but in recent years I have changed. I now very much enjoy a fruit-filled cookie. So times they are changing. I used to hate coconut. Now I love coconut.
Ooh.
I legit used to hate coconut, but now I crave it. I yearn for it. I yearn for a coconut. Do you guys have any combos
I
that
can't
you're
think.
no?
I eat
Poo-poo?
Nothing that I hate. I mean, I don't like licorice, but I'm trying to think like black licorice, but I'm trying to think what would mix with
Salty
that.
licorice.
Yeah, I guess
I do not like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Do
be
you
into
ever-
I
that.
don't like licorice in general, so anything licorice, I guess, would be tough for me. But salty licorice in particular, no. I've tried recently and do not like it. We're all
And
pretty.
then also because of TikTok, like there's those people that make sandwiches out of the craziest things, and like they eat it and they're like, "Oh, this is great." So like I'm
Mom
open.
Brain
I'm
tried
open to
that one and
things.
she loved it. Yeah.
By the way, Mom Brain,
We
we
speak
speak
your
your name.
So we're pretty open with food combos, and we're all right. If
Yeah,
you, if
we're
you
just
think of one.
hungry. We're
That's
hungry.
that's the truth. We also have a Patreon question.
Where?
For $1.
For $1, sure. Steister asked the question. You've had some great ideas for future Fortnite skins. My favorite one that I pick up instantly has been the Golden Girls. What's one skin that if they dropped, you would have to buy no matter what the price? Well, Deux and me and Lou were actually just talking about this because rumor has it they're doing a Simpsons collab. And Deux was saying he would not be happy about it, but there are ones he would just have to buy.
Yeah,
Hank
yeah.
Scorpio.
I
Scorpio
came up with that one. I
Hans
thought it'd be a
Moleman
cool
came up.
boss.
I said I would want Handsome Pete back bling. I would probably get that.
That would be so awesome.
Um,
Yeah, there were so many
Bumblebee
things we
Man
talked
was
about,
mentioned.
but yeah, I don't know why it would, because everything else is already in Fortnite. So why should it bother me if the Simpsons do it? Like, part of me
Yeah, I
wants them
didn't-
to stay pure
I
and
didn't
stay
push
out of it.
back
But
on that because I was like, it's very funny that like he's down with all these collabs, but when it came to Simpsons, you were like annoyed about it.
yeah, and like, who's sold out more than the Simpsons? You know, no, like you've seen them on shirts and like Butterfingers and whatever. So it's not like a big deal.
Yeah.
So I'm not excited about it. But if they did come, you know, I'd have to like. I'd want to say Homer because he's the greatest, but everyone's gonna get Homer. So that's Homer's gonna be like the skin to be scared of, most likely.
Yeah, Homer's out there. Definitely.
So
So
scared of? Oh, because that's
yeah, like all the good
Yeah,
players
all
will probably
sweats.
be that. But yeah, I don't know. There's so many. I mean, there's so many. I've got such a soft spot for the Simpsons. They have so many great characters. You know, they're only gonna give you like 3. It's not like you're gonna get like 10 or something.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And it's not, you're not gonna get any of the kids, which I mean
Unless
makes sense.
they're
but
grown-up versions, like we were saying, yeah,
Yeah.
because they're not tall enough.
that could be fun.
oh, that is a specific thing. The height.
Yeah, like Morty
was
is in the
thinking,
game, but
like-
he's in his robot suit. Yeah, you need everybody has to be roughly the same size, otherwise it's a pay to win skin. So, can't do it. I would. There's definitely anime ones that I would do. Like, I have my Kafka Hibino skin from Kaiju number 8, which I absolutely love. I love that skin so much. I'm so happy it's in there. But there's other anime skins. Like if they did a Fooly Cooly skin, forget it. Like, of course I would get that. If they did like Haruko or what's his name, Lord Conti, like that would be amazing. Neon Genesis Evangelion, although I don't know if those they're all kid skins, so I don't know if those would work. But you could get like one of the Avas in there as a skin, that would work. I would definitely get one of those. If they did a Freerin skin, come on, I'd be all over that. I'd take any of them. Give me Fern or Freerin or what's his name? I can't remember. It's got a noise. What's his name? The redhead guy.
It's something simple to remember, and I
But
can't think of it.
Freerin, I'd be all about. Yeah. Anything?
Where do you watch Fair?
Where do you watch it?
Yeah,
Netflix or Crunchyroll?
it's on Netflix.
Yes, sir. Dub and sub on both. Yes.
Is that like a German name? It's like Hans or something. or-
Stolt? I don't remember his name. But anyway, that's our picks. Are you doing music?
Yeah.
Because we're late, but we could go.
Yeah, I got something. I got something for you.
Oops.
Let's see if I can do this here.
Send your music to goninpod@gmail.com.
Where?
Goninpod@gmail.com. Put Mom Brain in the title. Help out your local Mom Brain.
I got music. You want to hear it? You want to hear it? Oh. Can you pull that on? Unplug that, please.
If you'd
Thank you.
please.
All right, we got music. Is that what I sound like? All right, let's hope this works. First song is from Nico Durunia.
Stark.
Thank you.
Stark. Yep.
I don't know how the volume's gonna be.
Bum 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 bum. This song made me cry when I was playing this game because I felt so cool. Yeah, you're good. Oh yeah. This is Rhythm Heaven, one of the Rhythm Heaven, but it's the Rhythm Heaven Fever, Rhythm Heaven Mega Mix.
Yeah,
It's
Rhythm
the-
Heaven Mega Mix.
That's the cat and the dog in the plains playing badminton. Bum 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 bum.
You can
Okay.
see why
So it says
that would...
Air Rally too, so I guess so.
There you go.
I know this stuff.
Yeah. Real tearjerker, that Air Rally.
Something when you put music in games and it works really well. The combination of everything jiving, it's a response to like the synergy between the music and the gameplay. Something about it. It happened in Undertale. They got like a little rhythm mini game in there where you play guitar with the two other members, and I'm like, I feel so cool doing this.
Still thinks he's playing Undertale. I
God
don't
damn
know
it!
why.
This
Deltarune.
is from Gecko Kitsune. Sorry to cut you off, but we're running late.
No, you're good.
Oh crap! I think it's this one.
Oh, I know this. Is this first party?
Sure.
Is it a puzzle game?
I don't think so.
What is this? GBA?
Everything just disappeared.
This is first party, but what is it? It's got to be GBA or DS.
No,
Super Nintendo?
no.
Okay, now I'm lost.
Nintendo 64. So
Oh my
says.
god, that's
Gecko
really
Kitsune.
bad quality for 64. And it's first party? Why do I know this? Oh my god, that is so familiar to me. It's not Zelda. It's not Mario. Mario Party. Mario. 64 on Mario. It's not Mario Kart.
No.
Dr. Mario? What the hell is this song? The noise, that part of the song makes me think time is running out. And I'm
Yeah, it
nervous.
seems like it would be.
And it's not a puzzle game.
No. I don't think
What
it's
the?
a
Oh, golf.
Yes,
It's golf.
Mario
Yes,
Golf.
it's Mario Golf. Yes, I got there. It's for like a birdie attempt or something, and it makes me nervous.
It says near hole on par.
Near hole.
Near hole. Near hole. That's funny.
So yeah, I think Gecko Kitsune said when you're on the green or something.
Yes,
and you get-
because it made me nervous because I didn't want to blow the shot. Yep, because I was near hole.
This next one is from Wired.
That's so good. This is also familiar.
Hold on. It's pretty new. I'll take it.
I know it. I think I know it.
Is it a Mario game?
I don't even know if it's first party.
I can give you. It's not.
Yeah.
I can give you a hint.
It feels like it's got a little bit of. Go ahead.
No, what were you saying?
You said it's new, so newish, so it's I'm gonna be wrong, but it's got like a little bit of espionage to it.
Yeah, like a Metal Gear.
Yeah, it had like a Metal Gear vibe.
I mean, there's a military side to it, I suppose.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Considering the games I've just played, maybe I should add this to my list.
It's a Metroidvania.
No.
It's a way
Way
forward,
forward
game.
game.
What did Way Forward do recently? Oh, you said it's not first party.
It's military.
Way Forward and it's military, but it's not first party, so I'm
I don't think it's first part.
completely Advance Wars.
No.
Okay, just getting it out of the way. Go ahead. This is terrible. I can't guess a way forward.
Contra, Operation Galuga.
God damn it! And I played it. I just played the game,
Hmm,
but I didn't like the soundtrack.
there you go.
It's a good concert game. It's a good not great, but
Next
it's good.
song comes from Steve Irwin, R.I.P. Find it here. Oh no, wrong one. Oh,
Man, if I don't like a soundtrack, I just like push it out of my head.
dead
It's like
to
it doesn't
you.
even exist. While I've never heard a more Kirby instrumentation in my life.
we're listening.
But what Kirby? Can I confirm that it's Kirby?
Yeah.
Okay. So Kirby, but I don't know what. Well, let's throw the word dream in there.
No,
How about land?
no,
Uh-oh. Squeak Squad.
no,
Canvas Curse.
no.
Cursed Canvas. I never remember which one it is.
Sticker Saga, Superstar Saga,
No.
Sticker Squad.
Kirby. Another Kirby.
We got a little next song on the soundtrack.
Kirby.
How do I get back?
Kirby.
How do I get back?
Kirby and the Forgotten Realm.
It's Kirby.
No,
Kirby's Pinball.
I don't know how to get back to the. No.
I'm going to have to take a 0.5. I don't remember what Kirby it is. Kirby Triple Deluxe.
No.
Kirby Planet Robobot.
Oh,
Thank God.
Oh,
Got there.
yes, we were. I was gonna say that. Planet Robobot.
Robobot.
Kirby Planet Roblox.
This next one's from Human Fart. Human Fart.
Is this actual NES?
From the any no.
Okay. Or Game Boy Color? Game Boy?
Yeah.
Okay. Just seeing if it was legit. Because it sounded it. I like this. I don't think it's first party. It doesn't sound first party.
I honestly couldn't tell you. I think it would be.
Okay. Pokemon.
No.
Zelda.
No.
Mario.
No.
Kirby.
No.
First party. And it's on Game Boy. I'm sorry, Game Boy?
Yes, I believe so.
He thinks it's first party. Donkey Kong.
I don't know if it was on the Game Boy Color.
Donkey Kong.
Maybe you could. No.
Man, I really like
Metroid?
this.
No. No. No.
No, it's not on any of these posters? Mole Mania.
No.
Go ahead. I don't know. I don't know. Give me more money.
I don't know.
Game Boy Camera.
What is that in the Game Boy Camera? I know
Is
Game Boy Camera
animation?
soundtrack. I thought I knew it well.
Says Game Boy
I feel like
Camera.
I've never heard that.
You may not have.
I know that soundtrack inside and out. I saw it.
Sorry.
You got to reevaluate your life.
Tell me about it. Keep calling Deltarune and Undertale.
This next one is from Radical Defect. I don't even know what this is. I know nothing about this.
Now this sounds like this sounds like it's trying to be old school, but it's not.
Okay, that tracks. I don't know who made it.
A little too much. A little too much. They're close. They ain't right.
He's good, people.
That it's just it's slightly off.
It's just
That we're out. Forget it now. Now they're blowing their cover. I got no idea what this is, but I can tell you it's not
But-
legitimate.
but we've got him pegged.
I got no idea.
And I've got less
I
of an
feel
idea.
like it's like Okay, let's put this together. Let's think about this. I don't think I recognize it, but I also am not 100% sure. It's trying to be old school. Can you tell me what system?
Switch.
Okay. It's very clearly... I think it's very clearly trying to be Zelda. Is that true? You don't know? I have...
Yeah, it looks like it.
Okay. Okay. Then is it only black and white? Is it-
Yes.
Okay, it's Master Key.
It is Master Key.
We got
Yes,
there.
he's
Wow,
good.
pulled that one out of my ass.
You doing this, it's like that 20 questions game where like you can think of the most obscure thing, but within 20 questions, that little robot's gonna figure it out.
Only ask Xandar.
So you did it, Master Key.
I'm
Mario's
Mario's
your
your
comes-
enemy.
Next one comes
I
from
Obey Mario.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Destroy Mario.
Morph Baller.
More fallen. I like it, but I got no idea on this one.
I honestly don't know if it's played.
I don't know it.
In the interest of time, I'll just say I don't know.
Don't rush it. Holy smokes, is it really that late?
It is.
Bayonetta 2.
I have not played Bayonetta 2.
God,
Should have.
I wanted that. I wanted
That's a
it.
bummer.
You didn't play
It's a
it,
bummer.
Not even in a little.
Next one comes from Aaron Cup.
How come you haven't played Bayonetta 2? Isn't that your jam?
I liked the first one. Yeah, it's just the second one came up when too much stuff was going on, and then 3 came out. And I was like, well, I can't play 3 until I got 2, and that's where I am.
Jeez. It ain't right.
I know this. Is this Zelda? Yeah, what Zelda is this?
I don't know.
Is this Skyward Sword?
No, it's like Tears of the Kingdom or Echoes of Wisdom or
Tears-
Breath of the Wild.
Hey, we got
What
there.
part of Breath of the Wild is this? I knew it was Zelda. I just
It says
didn't know.
cave. Okay. It's really pretty though, huh?
Yes.
Wasn't a bad game.
It's the second best reviewed game of 2025.
That's what they say.
That was Zelda Breath of the Wild
Mm.
from Aaron Cup. This next one, I think, is the name they go by. Sorry if I...
Your preambles
Say
are
it.
like my dad's preambles.
Spaniel 53. Have we heard that name before?
Yes,
Have we heard this song before?
I hope so. I got no clue, but I like it. The crunchiness makes me think GBA.
No.
DS?
Yes.
I like this a lot. Funky. I really got that 2000 era record scratch. I really got no guess at all.
I don't know.
Mega Man Battle Network. Not right at all.
No. Advance Wars Days of Ruin.
It was first party. I never played Days of Ruin. Man, that's funny. Talk about Way Forward and Advance Wars, and then I missed the first party game. That's what you get, you piece
And
of shovel.
last but not least, from PT. I almost said the name of this.
We don't mind. We don't mind.
Here it is.
I know this. Oh, I know this. Did he play this? He did, right?
I don't know if he beat it, but he did play it. because I said something.
It's a
and he, like,
Metroidvania, right? It's Metroid. That's it.
I
But that's the
guess so,
game.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, I know the game. Okay, it's a Metroidvania. Very, very beloved Metroidvania.
I think I know what he's
When you play with when you're the bug, you're the
Yeah,
cartoon
he's got
bug
it.
with
He's
the
got it.
skull
Yeah.
head.
Yeah, that's
Silk Song,
Hollow Knight.
the
yeah,
previous.
You're right. Silk Song is the new one coming out.
Hollow Knight is correct.
People have been waiting for that a long time, they say.
Very long. Yeah, it was supposed to be DLC for the first game, and then they're like, actually, it's going to be a whole game, and it's still not out. Yeah, it's been a long time. 7, 8 years.
Man.
So you
Not
got
for nada.
there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 10. 5 out of 5.
I have 6.
Okay, you're probably right.
6 out of 9.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I gave you an L when I should have given you a W.
Wow.
6 out of 9.
Keep
Great
his score because
job.
he doesn't trust me, and then I shouldn't trust him.
We
Great job with the
we
music.
got there.
We did it.
Thanks.
And then that's the end. We
We
got
did
nothing
it.
else.
We miss you, Mom Brain. We wish you the best.
Oh, okay.
Deux Views. It's never news. Rumor of the week with Dew Michaels. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been deprived of spiders and flies
It's true.
for 2 weeks. As much as I sent them to RMC's office, he didn't seem to notice. He was smashing them. He's got a fly swatter in
Piper
there.
got them. Piper got them.
Piper was going after him. But don't worry, they're back on the beat now, and we've got something that's really, really interesting to share. This has nothing to do with being back finally. This is just how it turned out, ladies and gentlemen. Usually on Deux Views, we talk about rumors, the spiders and the flies. They bring back rumors, and I tell you them. This one's true. This one's absolutely true.
What a treat.
So it's
don't
a
believe it.
view of Deux that's true.
For
And
you.
and it's for you.
Who knew?
Who knew?
Buku.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Uku, we talked a little bit earlier about Mario Kart World, and we mentioned Boo Cinema. Someone was very excited to hear that Boo Cinema is in the game. Well, guess why it's in the game? Turns out Hollywood, big Hollywood, paid Nintendo to put a cinema in their game because they're trying to get more people to go to the
Ticket sales
cinema.
are down. It's true.
So
Believe it.
they knew the Switch 2 was going to be huge. They paid Nintendo. Nintendo was like, all right, we'll add in Boo Cinema. They did. And now, I bet you didn't know this, but movie sales tickets are skyrocketing.
Movie sales tickets, people. You heard it here first. Movie sales tickets are skyrocketing.
Yes. And it also says, yes, that's it. That's all it says.
I mean, it makes sense. Mario Kart World's going to be a big seller, and it's already got a cinema in there, so why not? Yeah, get people to watch.
Get those movie sales.
That's where I'll be watching the Mario movie too.
Can you do that?
I heard that's the theater actually where Paul Rubens got caught.
Really is scary.
Dang, man.
I swear it's ectoplasm. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. There's no after show. We're so late. This is officially our longest show ever, so we're done here. No after
Goodbye,
show.
everybody.
And we're late for going to something else. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Oh, wait. I hit the end on the wrong thing. This is so
no.
awkward. Well, I can cut that out. Okay,
Bye.
that's done. Okay, goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. We're done.